Oh man, we're gonna get into some more Elaine losses. So now we have Elaine versus Judge Penny. And I just want to point out, a lot of these sidebars is not a lot of them are not really Elaine versus Camille. It's mostly Elaine versus the judge. I apologize for that. I'm just so baffled. I don't know why. The court. If there's a prior statement that she's made, it's hearsay unless you have an exception for it. Context is not an exception. Miss Barlow does not come through security. I thought I made myself very clear about that. She doesn't come through the back. Miss Barlow came through back with Miss Heard this morning. Elaine. Oh, I didn't know. I don't care if you didn't know, Miss Bredehoff. This is your responsibility. But it's leading up to the argument. It's still context, Your Honor. Context, Miss Bredehoff. Prior statement is hearsay unless an exception. For the third time, context is not an exception to that, or if it's not offered for the truth of the matter. What is it offered for? It's offered for context. Fourth time already. Judge Penny says context is not the exception. So Judge Penny's like, okay, I can't say yes because of context. Can you give me another reason? Give me something else. Give me something else that I can say yes to, Elaine. Come on, let me help you out. Elaine just repeats herself. It's offered for context. Judge Penny, that's not... Ugh, okay, I'll sustain the objection. This new PR guy, I don't know who he is, but he just came through the back and he was extremely disrespectful to my sheriffs, to my captain, to my lieutenant. She's testifying to an out-of-court statement. Camille Vasquez, correct. Ms. Bredehoff, she's on the stand. That's not hearsay, Your Honor. What she communicated? Oh, Elaine. These sidebars are pretty tough for Elaine. A lot of losses for Elaine, to be honest. I was reading these transcripts last night and I was like, oh boy. So today I have 4 transcripts that I want to go over. Also, I lowered my microphone volume. I felt like it was a little too... The gain was a little bit too high. So I lowered it by 10%. I don't know, Nacho. Let me know if it's too low or if it's good. Because I felt like it was picking up a lot of, I don't know, breathing noises. You should put your corgi photo on the wall behind you. Such a cute pig. But Your Honor. Yes, Elaine thought this would be a walk in the park. Elaine was probably like, you know what? She won the case in the UK. This should be easy. Let's do this. I don't know. You know, she probably thought she had an advantage. I mean, you know, it would make sense. You know, she probably thought she had an advantage because of the UK trial. And she probably thought, you know, this would be fine. I got this. I don't know. Or maybe she knew that it was going to be a huge uphill battle. The start of today's trial, we're on day 15 right now, gets a little bit, a little bit juicy because Judge Penny is not happy with Amber Heard's new PR guy. I don't know if you guys remember, but I remember when we were watching the trial live, there was a couple people in my chat was like, oh my God, they have like a new PR guy. And I was like, oh, really? Like, I wasn't really paying attention who her entourage was. But apparently this might have been the time where she hired like a new PR team. Was it? Or did she hire the new PR team after she testified? I just remember at some point she hires a new PR team and she dumps the old one. I don't know, a little sinister smile. I don't know what the context was, but oh, Elaine, you're so funny. You're so funny, Elaine. All right, so we have everyone comes in. Judge Penny's like, this new PR guy, I don't know who he is, but he just came through the back and he was extremely disrespectful to my sheriffs, to my captain, to my lieutenant. Very disrespectful because I told him he can't have his phone out. One of the deputies said he saw him with his phone out. Very disrespectful. I don't want him coming back. Miss Barlow does not come through security. I thought I made myself very clear about that. She doesn't come through the back. Miss Barlow came through back with Miss Heard this morning. Elaine. Oh, I didn't know. I don't care if you didn't know, Miss Bredehoff. This is your responsibility. From now on, only Miss Heard, her assistant, and the insurance attorney comes back to the back, period. If it happens again, I won't have anyone come to the back. Understood? Elaine, completely understood, Your Honor. I apologize. The court, I don't know his name, but he's getting very close, getting kicked out of my courtroom. If you want to let everyone know that right now, I'm very upset about that. Nobody disrespects my sheriffs. Oh, Judge Penny, I love it. Look at her standing up for her staff. I love this shit. Elaine, I totally agree. Do you want me to go talk to him now? Absolutely. Do we have anything else? Yes. Okay. Your Honor may recall that we talked about Benchu cuts in. Your Honor, just to clarify, Miss Barlow is not to come to the courtroom, correct? Your Honor says, no, she wasn't supposed to come in the back way. Elaine, she has been barred. The court, then she shouldn't have come. I'm with you completely, Your Honor. I completely understand where you're coming from. I thought Elaine was coming through the back with Amber Heard. Or was Elaine arriving first at the trial? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe Elaine is just, I mean, I can understand maybe this is how, either one, she was too scared to say anything to Amber Heard and she knew what was going on, or two, Elaine was just kind of like in her own mind and she's like probably stressed out and she got so much going on that maybe she really didn't know that Eve Barlow was sneaking through the bag. Oh, sneaky, sneaky. Brettahoff. So this is a rough transcript, Your Honor. May you remember Mr. Dennison said the witness had testified with IPV with prior relationships. And the actual testimony she gave, I highlighted them in our copies. She's talking about the personality disorder. She said, I'll let Your Honor read. Your Honor says, her emotional instability, her affect dysregulation, or her fear of abandonment is only occurring in the relationship with Mr. Depp. And we don't have evidence of it before. We don't have evidence of it after. Elaine, nothing about IPV. And then, Your Honor, I highlighted page 246. This is where it starts. This is where Mr. Dennison says, I think the witness just said that there is no prior evidence of intimate partner violence. That's what IPV is. And then he argues that he implicates the prior arrest of Ms. Heard because the person involved, etc. Okay. And then he talked about the notes. And Your Honor may recall, both Your Honor, I said I don't recall her testifying to that. The court, okay. And she didn't. And in fact, she mentions nothing of it in her disclosure. She did not testify to any of that. She did not. It doesn't come up in her deposition, in her 8-hour deposition. Ooh, Elaine had a lot of homework to do last night. All right, Elaine. So I don't think that's incorrect. I don't think she's opened the door. And I don't think you can ask that question. Mr. Dennison, Your Honor, this is indirectly in her own notes, but with respect to that testimony, these are the symptoms that she has been testified relative to IPV. These are the emotional instability, dysregulation, fear of abandonment. Those are all the symptoms she was talking about ad nauseum at the assistance of her notes. That's exactly what we're talking about. The court. I think I'm just going to say what I said yesterday. You can ask that initial question about whether or not, Mr. Dennison, I wrote down your question. We have it verbatim. The court. Okay. Ms. Brettahoff. The question I was going to look at the question. So I understand. Oh, the question. I was going to look at the question, so I understand. There needs to be a comma there. Mr. Chu, we've got it verbatim. The question is that Your Honor allowed. The court, she just wants to make sure everyone's on the same page. What's the question? Mr. Dennison, I have it in my notes. I will go find it in my notes. I understand, Mr. Dennison. So I'm going to allow him to ask her that question. What page are you on? Mr. Dennison, did you say that on direct that you saw no previous interpartner violence? Just yes or no? The court. That's it. We'll just go with that. Mr. Dennison, before we move out of your face, I'm sorry. The court. That's okay. Mr. Dennison, I just wanted to try to figure out what we're doing with the notes. Is this witness coming back to our cross-examination? So Dennis is like, he's molding over these notes. And I think the rest of us were, because it's like, okay, you can't read your notes. And Dr. Hughes is like, cornering the eye, looking at her notes and stuff like that. And Dennis is like, I thought we can't use the notes. But Judge Penny's being pretty nice. I think she's being really nice and pretty patient. I think she could have gone a little bit more ham with Dr. Hughes, but I think I like Judge Penny. All right, the court. Yeah, we can't have her notes. We understand that, right? I mean, she can't refer to her notes unless she asks to do it. It appears yesterday, even when I was watching her, she was still using her notes. Ms. Brettahoff, Your Honor, I've always had experts bring their notes up there. Elaine, you said this so many times, okay, Elaine, but you're repeating the same thing over and over again to a smart judge like Judge Penny. It's not going to make her change her mind. Judge Penny says, bringing them is one thing. Put them to the side and have them face down. Ms. Brettahoff, well, tell her to make sure to put them face down. And she needs to refer to them. No. What should she do? I don't think she should bring them to the witness stand at all. Oh, Judge Penny puts her foot down. That way, she won't have the urge, I think. Maybe. That'll be better. Then if we think honestly, Dr. Hughes, I know you testified all day yesterday, but you had the night to memorize your notes. Come on. Like, we all had to do that in college, high school, where last minute you're like, hey, I'm just going to wing it. And then you last minute study for your fucking exam and you just kind of speed run through it. So I don't know, Dr. Hughes, you can do it. All right. So Judge Penny says, and if she thinks she needs to refreshen her recollection, she can ask Mr. Dennison, and then maybe her notes can be retrieved from that one question. Is that okay? Mr. Dennison, I have significant numbers of questions for her, but I don't think it's going to be close to a memory test. Okay, so just have them. So just don't have them. Ms. Brettahoff, may I tell her that? The court, you have a few things you have to tell to some different people, Ms. Brettahoff. I'm sorry, I'm giving you homework, but I need to get that done. It's totally upsetting. So Judge Penn is upset about the PR guy. She's upset about Eve Barlow sneaking through the back. And she's upset. Well, I don't know if she's like upset, but there's also Dr. Donahue reading her notes when she wasn't supposed to. So it's kind of, things aren't looking good for team member camp. Miss Berthoff, I totally agree. I feel this exactly the way Your Honor does. I totally respect Your Honor. Do you, Elaine? Elaine likes to go back and forth with Your Honor a lot. Where like, you know how like lawyers, like let's say there's something that like a judge makes a judgment, right? And then a lawyer, when they don't disagree, they give their argument. Elaine sometimes, instead of giving her argument, she's like, I don't agree, Your Honor. It's like, okay. No shit, you don't agree, but tell us why, Elaine. Aaron Greenfield, thank you so much for the tier 1. I appreciate it. Thank you for your support. I love that's how your name is spelled, Aaron. I like that. How are you doing today, Aaron? Thanks for popping on in. Do you think Elaine's career has any HP left? I think she's got her other specialties. So, you know, while like I personally probably wouldn't hire her because she seems a little bit messy, but I'm sure she's got her own specialty. You know, she's got some, you know, accolades, some awards, and, you know, I'm sure she could do other things. She just doesn't have to be in like defamation cases. I don't know. And she was going against like top tier, like Camille and Ben and all of them. So I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just trying to give her excuses, but I don't fucking know. You have to understand that Dr. Hughes had to memorize mountains of BS. Hi, Leela. How are you doing today? All right, what else do we got? Miss Bredahoff. One more thing, as long as we're up here. We think there's going to be... Miss Heard is going to go on after Don Hughes, which is after lunchtime. We anticipate there's going to be a significant hearsay exceptions. So she knows about this. So can she... Wait, so she knows there's going to be a lot of hearsay exceptions. Okay, so she's trying to prime the judge a little bit. Be like, hey, I'm going to have a lot of hearsay objections, just letting you know. But Elaine didn't come better prepared to argue them? Or find out some other ways to get them in? Or okay, so she knows. Maybe Amber Heard pushed her to do this and Elaine didn't run and do it, but she's like kind of like, I don't know, maybe she's getting pushed around by Amber and her team or something. I don't know. So she knows there's going to be a lot of hearsay exceptions. Oh, man. Like, what if this entire time Elaine knew what she was getting herself into, but she had to argue just because Amber Heard's like making her do all this behind the scenes or something? I don't know. Maybe her client's really controlling and Elaine's like scared of her. So Elaine was just being thrown under the bus. Oh, man. Okay. All right. So Elaine says she's anticipating a lot of significant hearsay exceptions, that because they have been accusing her of falsifying prior testimony. So we prepared a brief and I just want to give it to Your Honor. Okay, so we can start dealing with the issues. Right. We think there are some cases that are pretty on point to this. We'll take a look at it. I'll take a look. Thank you, Your Honor. Everyone says, thank you. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe Elaine really thought that she would be able to get them through. Let's see what she had prepared for Your Honor. Because I think Judge Penny was like, yeah, this doesn't really have anything to do with what we're doing right now, Elaine. I don't know why you're presenting me with this. All right, I'm sorry. I'm spoiling it. I can't. All right, sidebar number 2. Dennison tries to get AH previous DV arrest in. And again, this was back in like 2009 when she was dating, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. Tasha. So the court, let's see. So now we're in the sidebar right now. Tries to get the DV in. Dennison says, when we get to the last page, there's a legal history that addresses her arrest for domestic violence. Okay. Your Honor, I would want this redacted, Your Honor. I wasn't aware, but I didn't have the exhibit. Okay. I would like to ask. It also has the dogs. It has all of that on the page. I want that redacted. Does she not want the dog's names on the page or something? Or I wonder, what does she mean by the dog? What's going on with the dog? Mr. Dennison, those were the notes that this witness took with respect to the initial intake relative to DV and Tasya. Tasya is an intimate partner who is identified in the intake form. Elaine, Your Honor can see this is legal history. I'm sorry. Wait, where am I looking at? Legal history. It doesn't say intimate partner violence. It also says this arrest is for domestic violence. The arrest that should stay out, and that should be redacted, Your Honor. So what are you asking me? Are you asking me if you can ask her about it because it was in her notes? I'm asking to ask her about it because Ms. Heard identified this as a part of her legal history, and this incident included an arrest for domestic violence relative to an intimate partner. Right, but she didn't testify to it. Elaine, no. I have the court, I have the motion in limine in place. So I'm not just going to allow it at this time. Dennison loses. Bretterhoff says, I asked that this page be redacted. I asked before we go through that for redaction. This is the one we're asking for redaction. Mr. Dennison. So the motion in limine allowed me to ask that single question. The court clarifies, no, I believe that the door ain't open. If she testified to that, you would definitely be able to get into it. But the motion in limine, you wouldn't be able to get into it unless the door wasn't open. But I just want you to know if the door opens, the door opens. But I think the last page has to be redacted. I'm waiting for redactions anyways. You will have a chance to look at it. All right, so Dennison tries to get it in. Not able to because Dr. Dawn Hughes was careful. She didn't open the door to that. Next, we have Dennison tries to strike portions of Dr. Hughes' testimony. Oh, Wayne Dennison. Wayne Dennison. All right. So I think this is after... I think are we doing redirects? It might be redirects. Dennison. Yeah, so Elaine, I believe she does the redirect, and then maybe afterwards. Nope, this is Elaine doing her. Are we in redirect? Are we in redirect or we're still in direct examination? Oh, I think we're still in direct examination, actually. Fuck, I don't know. Wait, I'm getting confused now. What did we cover yesterday? I think we already did cross-examination. This is redirect. Anyways, so Dennison says, Your Honor, I'd like to make an oral motion to strike those portions of Dr. Hughes' testimony that exceeds the scope of the disclosure, including all evidence related to MMPI-2, her views on personality disorder, her testimony relative to various communications she's had with other doctors as to personality disorders. None of that appeared in any of the 4 disclosures she made. The MMPI-2 information was Dr. Curry's disclosure, and she had every opportunity to rebut it. Elaine, Your Honor, those are going to be needed to be made simultaneously if he was going to... I did object. I don't agree that you did simultaneously object. They were in the disclosures. They were in the disposition. I read through the disposition last night, so I don't think there's any basis whatsoever for striking any of these. This is exactly the conversation we had yesterday where we asked an opposing counsel where in the disclosure does it say... The court, right, and I sustained that objection. Exactly, Your Honor, sustained that objection. Oh, sorry, that was Elaine. Exactly, Your Honor, sustained that objection. Mr. Dennison, but it was much broader testimony. I made repeated objections. I'm going to overrule the motion, okay? Everyone says thank you. So nice try, Dennison. Nice try, but didn't work. At this point, Elaine is now back to the witness. Let's see. Elaine is now back. Oh, I think Elaine. Oh, poor Elaine. Yeah. So after we're done with Dr. Dawn Hughes, Amber Heard is now up on the stand, and Elaine is also taking care of this. I wonder if initially Dr. Dawn Hughes was going to come in later in the trial, because then that would give Elaine a couple days break. But the fact that she had to do Dr. Dawn Hughes and then Amber Heard right afterwards, that's a lot of work. That's very time consuming. Hi, Nancy. How are you doing today? I don't know what she meant about the dogs. The dogs. I don't know. Oh, just kidding. We're still in sidebar number 7. Okay, so sidebar number 7, we're doing the direct examination of Amber Heard. Seems like Elaine is trying to slip a photo in. Oh, man. I think this is the day where Amber Heard throws Elaine and her legal team under the bus. I don't know. It kind of seems like it. Let's see. When she testified, where was he at? I think maybe like one of these. That might have been her. Okay, so we'll have Elaine and we'll have AH up there. Silly old Elaine, and we got AH. So Elaine says, do you recognize this picture? Amber says, yes, I do. And could you tell us what it is? It's a picture of my face with a note that Johnny left for me by the coffee. Typically is where we'd like to leave notes like that. And does this accurately depict the scene portrayed? It was one of those scenes as embarrassing as it sounds now, I don't know where the scene came from. There was a lot. It escalated quickly, fast, and it became, Amber, let me ask in a different way. Thank you. Is this a picture of you? Is it an accurate picture of you? Yes. Your Honor, I'm going to move the admission of 1783. Camille says, Your Honor, we have an objection. May we approach? Court says, sure. We're doing a sidebar right now. Camille says, Your Honor, this is the photograph that was produced after the close of discovery. Oh, Oh no. Was Elaine trying to slip it in? So there's like a discovery period where they have to, both sides I guess will enter all the stuff that they're going to use for like evidence, just anything in general, pictures, transcripts, I don't know, text messages and stuff like that. And it seems like there was a picture that didn't make it in for the discovery period. And it looks like they're trying to, team member who's trying to slip it in, and maybe like, Depp's team won't notice. I don't know. I think that might be what's happening. Of course, it's okay. Camille Vasquez says, we object on that basis. And yeah, Elaine says, this is the one the pictures that Craig Young identified. Gave it to the both of us at the same time. There were a number of pictures that we both sides got when we went through the different time periods, right? And produced the pictures. That's where that came from. We both got them at the same time. There's no prejudice. Well, the prejudice is, Your Honor, that these came from devices that were in Ms. Heard's possession, custody, and control. They were presented to the court several times when you granted our motion to image Ms. Heard's devices, and then the device had been previously imaged. Why this photograph and a number of others weren't produced is a problem before the close of discovery. Oh, I wonder, Elaine says, there's hundreds of thousands of photos, Your Honor. The court, right, but if you wanted to use it in trial, it should have been provided in discovery, Elaine. That's why we have a discovery cutoff date. Elaine says, we didn't discover it until then. The court, then also stated the objection. Oh, man, Elaine. Oh, sideboard number 8. Oh, shit. We have Elaine versus, is this the start of all the hearsay stuff? I don't know. There's going to be a lot of hearsay objections in today's stream. All right. So Elaine versus Judge Penny about some hearsay text messages. Judge Penny says, Michelle, I'm sorry. Could you make it a little bit bigger just so I can see it? I'm sorry. I apologize. All right. Thank you. All right. So you're wanting to get this entire... Elaine says, Your Honor, this is the reason we submitted the brief this morning. Also, this is the brief that we're talking about this morning when Judge Penny was kind of angry at team member Heard. Because we think there's a number of hearsay exceptions for these communications. One of the most significant ones. Hold on. Wait until she comes back. That's fair. Okay. Well, got to go through line by line. Which one do you think? Okay. So this is a text between, let's get that straight. This is a text between she and her mother. Her mother's now deceased. Okay. So she and her mother. Okay. I think the most significant one is that we want to get the blue one. The blue was Amber saying, I don't know what to do. He's texting saying he wants to talk today. I haven't answered the text back. Okay, so what's the issue? That's clearly hearsay. What's your exception to hearsay? Elaine, exception is present sense impression, first of all, because under the rule, and that's why we filled the bulletin on that one. Okay, go ahead. Because it's stating that she knew what was going on, that she was expecting at that time. We also think it's a sort of a state of mind and present physical condition exception. Okay. And then, Your Honor, the thing I wanted to bring up to Your Honor's attention is that we believe that these are prior consistent statements. Well, she hasn't been impeached yet, so you can't do prior consistent statement. That's an easy one. And I understand. That's on redirect. You can do that on redirect. I understand Your Honor's ruling all that, although I think that they've already done so during the opening statement. The court, no. Elaine, but taking that one aside in the cases, Your Honor, in the present sense impression, this is something that she's stating at the time and... Right. I've read your brief. I understand that. But the thing with the present sense impression is that it's present sense impression, not past sense. Ooh, past sense impression. So present sense impression has to be something that she's involved with at this time. Oh no. Does Elaine not know the difference between present and past? Judge Penny. Judge Penny has to like dumb down a lot of things for Elaine. And you can tell Judge Penny's just like, Elaine, I hope it didn't have to come to this, but I guess I have to tell you this. So you could understand. I don't know how else to get it to you. Look, Judge Penny says, can't be a pass. He called me and texted me, wants to talk today. I haven't answered back. That's not a present sense impression, Elaine. And then the last one, the state of mind and present physical conditions exception. That's for the current state of mind, emotions, sensations, or physical conditions such as enhanced motor design, mental feeling, pain, and bodily harm. Go ahead. I know it's new state of mind. Camille, Your Honor, it's not a state of mind. It's a text saying we don't know when she said that in relation to whatever, the court, what she's talking about. Camille, what she's talking about. That's not a proper way to bring in hearsay. Okay, all right. I'll sustain the objection. Okay, thank you. Elaine, Your Honor, I think I'll be continuing to try some of the others. The court, you can keep continuing, but present sense impression is present sense impression. So, I mean, she's saying, I don't know what to do. That's hearsay. Clearly hearsay. Okay, Elaine? Okay. So I'm sorry, I'm adding a little bit extra. Okay, I'll sustain the objection. Back to open court. We're going to read into sidebar number 9. So Elaine goes back asking Amber Heard some questions, and Elaine says, so why did you decide to confide your mother about your issues you were having with Mr. Depp? Amber Heard says, I felt safe talking to my mom because I know that she understood these dynamics, and she would judge me for staying with him, for loving him, even though this was happening and was happening to me. I knew she would understand. And when approximately did you start confiding in your mom about the issues with Mr. Depp and the physical abuse? Camille, objection, hearsay, compound, the court. I'll sustain to the compound. Elaine, when did you start confiding your mother about the abuse you were suffering at the hands of Mr. Depp? Amber Heard replies, I'll read this actually. Amber says, I was confiding in her from the very beginning about the abuse, the psychological abuse, the kind of control, the disappearing, not knowing where he was, and then he'd come back, and sometimes in the middle of the night, the constant accusations, like that sort of thing. I talked to her about, probably from the very beginning. The fact that I was secret, I had to hide, couldn't tell any of my friends that I was with him for a long time because he would tell everyone, would blame me for the split with him and his partner. So I had to kind of sneak around. Oh, wait a second. Wait, what is this? So she couldn't tell her friends. Sorry, she says, I couldn't tell any of my friends that I was with him for a long time because he told everyone would blame me for the split and his partner. Oh, okay, his previous relationship. So I had to kind of sneak around and kind of get brought to his house, typically in a secretive way. And then he'd come to mine in a secretive way. And then it was just all very, very isolating. I confided with her at the very beginning of that sort of thing, and then later opened up to her about some of the violence. I did it gently, First, I just wanted to have someone to talk to about how scary it was, the rage, the uncontrolled violence, the rage that this man had, and why Camille, objection, Your Honor, hearsay, may we approach? The court says, okay. Camille says, Your Honor, she's characterizing hearsay, and she is... Court says, she said she confided in her mother, but she's starting to characterize what she says. Elaine, I don't think she was characterizing. I think she was just saying she felt, I didn't hear she was kind of saying what she was saying. I'll sustain the objection. If you're close, we can have a break whenever you're feeling good points. So I think we have a nice little break. So sidebar number 10. It's a good thing that Camille is so on top of these hearsay stuff. Man, imagine during your direct examination and Camille Vasquez has the hand on the button, ready to pounce on you. When you play those those TV show games. I bet you Camille will be so good at that. Objection, hearsay. Objection. We need to thank and appreciate Elaine for proving Johnny's case. I scratched Elaine with AH. I think AH did a really good job at proving Johnny's case. Oh man, let's see. Oh, I can zoom in more if you want. I didn't think anyone was reading with me. I felt like a lot of people were just having me in the background. Sorry, here. Let me. Here, I'll do this instead. Is this better? Wait. Do more zoom in. I guess it does cut off. 1 second. I'll resize it. I had it up yesterday because there were some witnesses that we forgot what they look like. So I think it was a good refresher. Okay, how about that? There you go. We made them tiny and small. Tiny and small, and I made the text bigger. I think this will be better for you guys anyways. And actually, I don't know if this is better for me. This might be a little too zoomed in. Okay, how about this? All right, y'all. Now we got sidebar number 10. AH fight in an apartment, not mentioned. Oh yeah, do you guys remember how while Amber Heard was on the stand, she all of a sudden mentioned another incident that happened, but this incident wasn't listed in the original, was it 12 to 14 incidents that she had listed initially? I don't know. It was as if maybe she made it up on the stand, or maybe she forgot about it. So we got sidebar number 10. Sidebar number 10 is the fight so Amber Heard and JD, they fight in their apartment, and it was not listed in the incidents list. Okay. There we go. Camille, this is highly prejudicial. She just read into the evidence hearsay. Oh, let me go back actually. 4276. This is from Elaine. Elaine, this is a text message exchange between your mom, correct? Amber, yes, it is. Okay, let's go. Scroll down, Your Honor, I'm going to object to hearsay. Ms. Bredehoff, let's wait until we get to the spot. All right, this is the picture that you sent your mom on 3/23/2013. Yes, it is. Your Honor, I'm just going to move the admission of 170. Just that picture that's on the text. The court, with no words. Elaine. Well, it says from 2 weeks ago on it. Your Honor, says Camille. The court. I'll sustain the objection. Ms. Bredehoff. If we redact the from 2 weeks ago, can we omit it then and then just have it showing? Said for her mom. So the issue is that there's a text on there that says from 2 weeks ago that Team Depp doesn't want the jury to hear, I guess. But Elaine keeps reading it in. And at this point, Camille's like, dude, you're not supposed to be reading it in. Hello? If you're going to redact it, what's the point? You're reading it in and the jury can hear it anyways. So I don't know if Elaine's just being sneaky or if she's just being, I don't know. She just forgot. Camille says, may we approach Your Honor? Says, sure. Camille says, this is highly prejudicial. She just read into evidence hearsay. The court. I sustain the objection. Ms. Vasquez. I know. The court. The jury's been instructed about if I sustain it, they'll be instructed again on it. Camille says, thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Bredehoff. So I just want to have the top show that she sent it to her mom from the date, and then we can redact the from the 2 weeks ago and just show that she sent the picture because Your Honor's already ruled that's coming in. The court. Any objections? Ms. Vasquez? No, Your Honor. Okay, so everything else is redacted on the page except the picture and the date. Is that what we're saying? The date underneath it? There's a date underneath. 3/23/2013 at 1:29. We would like to show that it was sent to her mom. Okay, everything else redacted. Okay, thank you. All right. Next, we have more hearsay stuff coming in. Sidebar number 12. Sidebar number 12. 4299. Line number 3. Now we're talking about I guess the Hicksville incident, the one where they all got a bunch of trailers out in the middle of nowhere, and there was a fight that erupted between the two of them. Okay. So question, Elaine says. So Hicksville is in May of 2013. Did there come a time that you wrote an email? Camille. Objection. Leading in hearsay, Your Honor. May we approach the court? All right. Sidebar. Camille says, I'm trying to do this preemptively. All right. That's fine. Just so we don't have any more slip-ups, but this is an email that Ms. Heard claims that she sent to herself. Oh, no. The court says, okay. Ms. Vasquez says, hearsay. The court says, okay. Camille Vasquez says, and there's no exception that applies. The court says, hearsay. So what's the exception that you offer? Yes, Elaine, give us your explanation. Oh, fuck. Elaine says, this one is different. This one is definitely present sense impression in a mental state, Your Honor. She's saying that how she feels about all of this. The court. Okay, it didn't happen in May. This is in June 11 that she's sending it. It can't be present sense. Again, this is not in the present sense, Elaine. This is in the past. Oh, man. So the incident happened in May, and then Amber Heard decides to write an email about it to herself in June 11. Is she making like an entry in her diary, or is she just trying to maybe rewrite history so that, one day she thinks she can submit this all into evidence in case anything goes down between her and JD, I guess. Ay. Yeah, Elaine just has a hard time differentiating between past tense and present tense. Sorry, here you guys are. You guys, I have chat up here now. Okay, welcome, guys. You guys weren't here earlier. She's kind of cutie pie right there. I'm leaving her right there. Okay, so Elaine doesn't know the difference between present, past tense. Judge Penny is probably molding right now. Elaine says, she's not talking about this Hicksville now. This is a juncture in her relationship that she's writing to him to feel, but sending to herself, saying how she feels. The court says, it's hearsay. Sustain the objection. All right, no arguing back and forth between Elaine and Judge Penny. All right, so that is the end of the day of day 15. Day 16. This is day 16. All right. So for day 16, May 5th, I think they take a nice... Oh, no, they don't. Just kidding. Day 16 with May 5th. Amber Heard is still under direct examination by Elaine. At this point, AH is giving her side that she's saying that JD is possessive. Sidebar number 1, 4351. All right, let's read along with... All right, let's see what Elaine says. Elaine says... While they're working on that, can you tell us what transpired between you and Mr. Depp, which you wanted to do something with the cast member? Answer. So, as I said, he came to London for his own work and also dropped me. He dropped me off in London, where I had to be for a few months to film this movie. He asked me to marry him. He bought my best friends, my dad, they left. And shortly after they left, one of my co-stars, invited me to go to a concert with him and some of the cast to kind of break the ice. I'd been working with him for the next few months and had already knew that I couldn't be photographed. Even if it was platonic, I couldn't be photographed with men or women that other people could possibly spin as romantic. So I learned that in January the hard way. And I asked him permission if I can go to the concert with the cast. And I said, Johnny, my co-star, Camille. Objection, Your Honor, hearsay. Elaine, why don't you tell us what the co-star... Don't tell us what the co-star said. Just tell us your communication was with Mr. Depp. Which is the same thing. Camille says, objection, hearsay. Your Honor, communications are hearsay. The court says, I will sustain the objection. Elaine says, I'm not sure I understand. The court says, if you want to approach, that's fine. Elaine says yes. Now in the sidebar, Camille says, she's going to talk about what she said and asking for permission. That's hearsay. Elaine, she's on the stand. It's not an out-of-court statement. The court, she's testifying to an out-of-court statement. Camille Vasquez, correct. Ms. Redehoff, she's on the stand. That's not hearsay, Your Honor. What she communicated? Yeah, but she's talking about a statement that she made out of court. All right, the court says, what she said out of court could be considered hearsay, but I'm just not sure what the statement is, what's coming in or what she's going to say. Vasquez, she's asked for permission to she asked Mr. Depp for permission. She wants to be able to go to the concert with her co-star. The court, that's not going to be into evidence. What's the next one coming in? What she's going to testify to? I don't know. Redehoff, her communication with Mr. Depp, and Mr. Depp tells her he doesn't want her to go. Hi, Jane. How are you doing today? Vasquez, well, Mr. Depp's statement is not hearsay, but her communication saying that she's asking for permission, that's an out-of-court statement. Ms. Redehoff, she's on the stand, Your Honor. That's not hearsay. She can ask about it. She's subject to cross-examination. The court, yeah, she is subject to cross-examination, but even what she said out of court could be considered hearsay. I'll take them one at a time. That's already in evidence. That's fine. And then we can get into whatever Mr. Depp said. It's fine. But these conversations back and forth, some of them are going to have to come in for context purposes. Camille, I understand that. The court. So we're just going to have to do them one at a time. Oh, man. All right. We got some Elaine's and the what if any's. I don't know if you guys remember, but Elaine was the master of what if any's. Elaine asked Amber Heard, did there come a time in November 2013 that you saw Lily Rose? And Lily Rose, for context, is Johnny Depp's daughter with his previous partner, Vanessa. Answer. Yes, they came to stay with us sometime in winter. Yeah, around November. I believe 2013. Question. When you said they, who are you referring to? Johnny's kids, Jack and Lily Rose. All right. And there was a particular incident that led to the disagreement with Mr. Depp? Camille. Objection. Leading. The court. Sustain. Question. What, if any, interaction did you have with Lily Rose that led to an argument with Mr. Depp? Camille. Objection. Leading. Redehoff. What, if any? The court. If you can approach. The court says, I understand what, if any, and I get that, but it's all the extra that you're putting in there. It's a little... Ms. Redehoff. I'm going to give context and move along. I know. I understand that. I appreciate that. But I have to sustain the objection based on that. Okay? Vasquez says, thank you. Now we got sidebar number 3. Elaine doesn't understand hearsay. Docs continues to read beyond. Okay. So we're going to have a lot of issues with this hearsay docs. Oh man. All right. So this one we gotta forward it back a little bit. So Elaine. Number 12. Elaine's going to ask Amber Heard, what, if any, Your Honor? Okay. Question. Ms. Heard, did you communicate with Kate James by email in the ordinary course of your business? Again, Kate James is her previous personal assistant that she fired. And then she later blamed Kate James about the whole Australia bringing the dogs into Australia without the vax records thing. Oh man, she threw her under the bus. Well, Kate James got her back because, she testified on the stand and gave us the deeds. So she says, Elaine says, Ms. Heard, did you communicate with Kate James by email in the ordinary course of your business? Amber Heard, yes, I did. Okay, I'm going to ask you to take a look at defendants 209. And this is communication that was between you, Kate James, that was in the ordinary course of business with her as an employee? Yes, it is. Ms. Redehoff, Your Honor, I'm going to move the admission of exhibits, business records exception. Oh, so this is what she was saying, exception. So technically this is hearsay, but Bretterhoff is like, well, it's not hearsay because, there's a rule of exception here. Camille Vasquez says, still hearsay, Your Honor. The court says, the business record exception gets the business record in, but there's hearsay involved inside the business record. That's still objection to hearsay. Elaine, Your Honor, the business rule exception, the business records exception, I don't agree. I think that's the point. If you want to approach. Judge Penny says, business records exception, number 1, I'm not sure emails or business records. Number 2, even if you get business records in, they come in. But if there's hearsay in those business records, that hearsay doesn't come in. Your Honor. But if you want to show me something different that says hearsay in every business record comes in, please show that to me. The exception. One of the exceptions to the hearsay rule is the business records exception. The records of regularly conducted activity. And it says I'm on to 8036A. The record was made at or near the times of acts, events, calculations, or conditions. B. The record was made and kept in the course of regularly conducted activity of business, organization's occupation. The court. Keeping the record with the regular practice of that activity. This is an email. That's why it doesn't fit with the business record. Elaine. That's how she communicated with her. She was her employee. The court. For custodian. Business records are made for custodian. Invoices, accounting, not people's hearsay emails back and forth. Neither the source of the information nor the method or circumstances of preparation indicate a lack of trustworthiness. Ms. Bretterhoff, why would this not be the court? It's not business record. Sustain the objection. Camille says thank you. Oh man, we're going to get into some more Elaine losses. So now we have Elaine versus Judge Penny. And I just want to point out, a lot of these sidebars is not a lot of them are not really Elaine versus Camille. It's mostly Elaine versus the judge. Oh, man. I think this is why the case probably took, I don't know, the trial took so long. Lots of these sidebars with Elaine. All right, Elaine. Elaine asks, so you were in New York and Mr. Depp was in Boston at some point. Amber says, eventually, by May 2014. That's it. Elaine, what, if any, discussions or arguments did you have with Mr. Depp relating to James Franco in the time frame of May 2014? Amber, it's a nightmare. I wanted to do this independent film. I like the story. I like the character. I told him I was going to wear makeup in the thing. Oh, wait, I told him I'm not going to wear makeup in the thing. Camille, objection, hearsay. Bretterhoff, apparently. The court, Miss Bretterhoff, if we can approach, please. Sidebar. Bretterhoff, I don't need those side comments. Oh, because, gotcha. So Camille says objection, hearsay. And then I guess Elaine at this point, she's kind of frustrated. She's like, apparently. Elaine, get it together. The court, I don't need those side comments. Ms. Bretterhoff, I apologize for that. I'm just so baffled. I don't know why. The court, if there's a prior statement that she's made, it's hearsay unless you have an exception for it. Context is not an exception. Ms. Bretterhoff, state of mind, present tense. The court, no, those are not exceptions for I wasn't going to wear makeup. Ms. Bretterhoff, oh, hi, Crosby. How are you doing today? Ms. Bretterhoff, I mean, it's context as well, Your Honor. The court, context is not an exception. She just said that, Elaine. She just says context is not an exception. Are you listening, Elaine? Ay. Poor Elaine. She didn't get good sleep. I think she's the type of person who just needs like 9 hours of sleep or something. She's probably only getting 3 hours of sleep during this time frame. I don't know. But then you go to trial, and when you go to trial and stuff like that, you're probably not getting much sleep anyways. I don't know what the hell Elaine is doing. And I don't know. I feel like when you have to practice law, you have to be pretty sharp and on top of things. But Ms. Bretterhoff, offer to show. Oh, okay. Elaine says, it's not offered for the truth of the matter. The court, then what does it offer for? Offer to show, well, it doesn't matter whether she's wearing makeup or not, Your Honor. That's not the court. Then it's not relevant. But it's leading up to the argument. It's still context, Your Honor. Context, Ms. Bretterhoff, prior statement is hearsay unless there's an exception. For the third time, context is not an exception to that, or if it's not offered for the truth of the matter. What is it offered for? It's offered for context. Fourth time already. Judge Penny says context is not the exception. So Judge Penny's like, okay, I can't say yes because of context. Can you give me another reason? Give me something else. Give me something else that I can say yes to, Elaine. Come on, let me help you out. Elaine just repeats herself. It's offered for context. Judge Penny, that's not, okay, I'll sustain the objection. Oh, man. Oh man, I wonder if AH is reading these transcripts. I hope she's reading through these transcripts and just saying what a mess of a lawyer Elaine was. Oh no. Am I a fan? Corgi's a huge Elaine fan. I just feel bad for her. I don't know. I just feel bad for her. She's an old lady, you know? I feel bad for her. I don't think she knew what she was up against. She's also like, she's definitely someone I would never work with, though. She's the type of person that would just get on your fucking nerves. Like, holy shit. But yeah. Okay, sidebar. Because I don't think she's evil. Like Amber Heard, I thought she was fucking evil. Elaine, do I think she's evil? No, I don't think Elaine's evil. I think Elaine is just kind of a silly person, you know. I don't know, silly person under a lot of pressure, stress, maybe. And I don't know, maybe she performs better, and maybe she was just, like I said, lack of sleep. Maybe I'm just being too nice. Okay, so at this point, we have a sidebar. Elaine wants the audio of JD howling in. I don't remember him howling though. Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember Johnny Depp howling in any of the audio tapes? I don't remember him howling. See. Okay. Sidebar. Camille says, so I anticipate this is the Boston plane recording. The court. It seems like it. That's where we are. Ms. Vasquez. Yeah, there's other voices on the recording besides Mr. Depp. Okay. So I asked that those voices, the clips you have aren't with other people's voices, correct? One of them is. Yes. The first two are of him howling. But, Your Honor, that doesn't mean, she's authenticated that she's made the recording. Doesn't matter. Hearsay can be involved in tapes too. So the other people on there, you're trying to get their statements in, that would be hearsay. I'm not offering that. Okay. For the truth of the matter. What did they say? He says he's going to stay with this fucking idiot in case he gets sick. But I'm not offering for that. I'm offering for what's going on in the howling. Oh, so that's a statement that Jerry Judge made. And again, they're not letting in any statements that Jerry Judge made, I guess. Or no, actually, no, I think in this audio, they did let this part of the audio in. I do remember hearing it in trial. Court says, Elaine says, I'm offering what's going on with the howling. The court, I'm going to sustain that as to that statement, Elaine. Then the first two I'm offering, the first two are just him howling. Is that right? Howling? Is that what we're talking about here? Right. So it's just him howling and there's no other sounds? Just her or just her? No, I don't believe so. Jerry Judge is just on the third. So you're just going to do the first two. That's fine, Your Honor, says Camille. The court. So you're not going to get into the whole thing. We're just going to call the first one A, the second one B. Is that okay? So A is going to be okay. Ms. Bredehoff, 0 to 1 minute. Okay, B. And then B will be... I'm getting confused with saying what. The court. Okay, B, Elaine. B will be 2:50 to 3:20. The court. And then after we hear those audios, why don't we wrap up for the morning break? Would that be okay? Thank you. So I'm going to continue reading on to sidebar number 6 because we sidebar pretty quickly. Elaine says, so we're just going to start with 221 and we're going to call it A and that'll be 0 through 1 minute. Your Honor, may I approach? Honor says, okay. Elaine says, I think all 3 of them have already been admitted to evidence and were played during Depp's cross-examination. Do you have any of the audio? I don't remember the numbers, so you have to tell me which numbers you think they are. Yes, it's already been played, Your Honor. It was played during Mr. Depp's cross-examination. Oh, John, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Elaine lied to the court about age not having money due to JD Law, so she knew insurance was sent to those checks. She's complicit to evil, at least. Yeah. I don't know if it's today. Maybe I think it's the next day in the trial where they do bring up who's paying for this. Who's paying for the lawyers? Is it the insurance company? Is it Elon? Is it coming out of H's pocket? Is it some of them? Is it all of them? Ay. The court. Let's see. Not the third one because they said Jerry Judge is on the third one, and I have not had any recordings of the other people. Mr. Nadehoff. Remember, during this, we can check out the break. The court. Yeah, can you check? But let's just do those 2 now. How about that? Mr. Nadehoff. That's fine. Oh, they're having Nadehoff come up here too. You know what? I wonder if Nadehoff is like, damn, Elaine's struggling a little bit. Let me go help her out. I bet you like Roddenborn was probably like, oh my God. Why am I co-attorneys with her? All right, Brother Hall. So we're going to start with the first one with 0 to 1 minute. And can you turn up the volume? That part of it, the noise, the airplane, is a little bit loud. So at this point, they're playing the clip and it's not really him howling. It's just when he's moaning. Okay, it's Johnny Depp moaning and then you hear Jerry Judge's voice. So Sidebar number 7. Sorry, lots of sidebars today. We have 17 sidebars today. All the other stuff when Team Johnny Depp was going, they had like, I don't know, 4 sidebars a day, maybe 6. I don't know. With when Elaine and her team goes, it's like 17 sidebars, 24 sidebars. It's a lot of sidebars. Yeah, he was the younger guy. Kind of looks like Ron Important Jr. All right, sidebar. We got Elaine wants to give Judge Penny a heads up, possibly more hearsay. So again, this is the second time today that Elaine's giving her a heads up, like, hey, I just want to let you know we're gonna have some hearsay stuff in. But that really doesn't make it any better, Elaine. Penny says take it one at a time. All right, so Elaine says, Your Honor, I'm gonna have a series of text messages. Okay. Email. So I thought it was just headed off. Sure, that's a great idea. Look at Rule 2803. Hearsay exception. It says the following are not excluded by the hearsay rule, right? Even though the declarant is available. We've got admission by party opponent. Right, we've done that. We have present sense impression. Right, I understand that. I'm very familiar. I accept that, Your Honor, and business records is also in the hearsay exception. I'm going to be putting a number of them, and I'm going to be arguing with each of them that is a present sense impression, then existing state of mind. But I need to put them in, even if Your Honor rules against them. Anything you identify as a part of the record, you can't put them into evidence. It's part of the record. I understand, and I fully appreciate and respect Your Honor has the right to rule however Your Honor wants to. Elaine, Your Honor. Yeah. Just want to give you a heads up on that. Okay. Those are my predominantly two exceptions I'm relying on with these series. And there are some that's just spontaneous. Some of them are just they're saying, I have to take them one at a time. I appreciate that, Your Honor. I kind of just want to give a preview. And Judge Penny's like, oh, God, this is a preview to my headache. Because we are going to have a lot of objection hearsays. And I believe Elaine loses like I think she loses all of them. We're going to have like a bunch of them in a row. Ugh. Camille smashed her to bits with the hearsay. Yeah, the hearsay stuff. And then remember during redirect, also destroyed. Oh, man. All right. We got some more hearsay objections. We're going to read all the way to sidebar 14. Okay, we got a lot going on. The court says, all right, so I'm going to overrule as to present sense impression. Again, it's present. It's past. Sorry. All right, I'm going to overrule as to present sense impression. Again, it's past, present sense impression. Has to be happening at the time. If she called from the plane saying he's kicking me, for example, Ms. Vasquez, overrule or sustain? Oh, sustain. I mean sustain. He's kicking me. Sorry, thank you. He's kicking me. These are present sense impressions. Your Honor, I need your help, JD. Yeah, JD, he is passed out on the plane. Ms. Vasquez, but she says here, I'm headed to the court. That's the one I'm talking about, that one. So I need your help. Ms. Bredhoff, yes, I think that's state of mind. It's mental state of mind. And at that point, Your Honor, when are these texts? These texts is at 5:24. And right before that, Camille Vasquez, she's already headed off to the plane, Your Honor. She said that she's headed to AD. AD was one of Mr. Depp's residences. Sweet sir. Bredhoff, Your Honor, the cases that we cited, even on the excited utterance and the present tense, it says it doesn't have to be immediate. It could be afterwards. Clearly, it's state of mind. Well, the cases that you have, she's already been assaulted and then she was calling and giving a license plate number. That's one of them. That's correct. She's already off the plane. She's testified that on the plane. She was sitting looking out the window. It's state of mind. I need your help. She said she was looking out of the window for a time and she was off the plane. Camille. And she recorded him. Then she recorded him, just the window of the state of mind. So I'm going to sustain the objection. Both of those, okay? Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. Elaine, sidebar number 9, another one. Oh, do you want to approach? That's fine. The court says, all right, so the one from the father is obviously hearsay, right? Yeah, the one I'm looking at is a blue box, and that is the state of the mind and the present sense impression. She's going through and recounting what happened. And this was 5:24. So you're saying present sense impression for all of this? Yes, it's describing what transpired, and then it's also a state of mind, how she's feeling about this and her struggle. After the fact, Your Honor, Elaine, even after the fact, that doesn't take out state of mind. The court, present sense impression is not after the fact. It's present. Oh my God, this is like the 5th time that Judge Penny has to tell Elaine this. Elaine says, it's state of mind. She's saying where she is and how confused she is. The court, I'm going to sustain the objection to this. All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Sidebar number 11, another hearsay objection. The court says, just let me read it, all right? You're saying the text message is business records? Yes, with her employee. She's talking about the hotel arrangements. She's asking to book her on the plane, which is what her role is. She works for her. But that redirecting her text, etc. It's a business record, Your Honor. The exception says it's a business record. Exception. That's an exception to the hearsay rule. It's an exception, but then it also says, I can read it to you. If there's any opinions on that, then that has to cover the hurdle. But, and this is clearly all opinions here, it's bad. It's worse than ever. Those are all opinions. Even if you get it in as a business record, none of the opinions can come in unless you have another reason. So here's my other question. Kate James has testified and was allowed to testify. I can only handle the objections that are brought before me. So I don't know, Elaine, maybe you should have objected before, but were you sleeping through that? I understand. She testified because it was admissions against interest. Right. She said Amber Heard, was having a great time, wasn't worried about it, never said anything to her. Can't I do an impeachment on that? The court says, Miss James is not on the stand right now. Your client is. But she was a witness and it would be impeachment. You could only impeach the person that's on the stand. Okay. I'll sustain the objection. I will say this though. Elaine probably learned so much about law just from practicing, just from doing this fucking trial. So this is like definitely an educational thing for Elaine. So I don't know. Maybe next time she takes a defamation case, maybe she'll be on fire. But I don't know. Is Elaine the type of person who learns from her lessons? Seems like a lot of the hiccups that she's had with Judge Penny. It's like, hello, I said it's supposed to be present tense. Elaine's like, but. I don't know. Maybe she's hard-headed. Maybe it's hard. I don't know. All right, we got another one. Number 12. Oh yeah, I think I should just keep reading it actually. Oh man. Okay, I'm just gonna keep reading the rest of the transcript just so we know what the fuck is going on right here. Elaine. So what, if any, did you do the evening of 24th of May? Amber. I reached out to friends and family, asked for support. Camille. Objection. Hearsay. Court sustained it. And I surrounded myself with them and that... Wait, what? Amber says, and surrounded myself with them with that question. What, if any, did you do for Lily Rose's birthday? That's why we had to go back to LA. Johnny was sick after having to pass on the plane, so I took him to dinner. We went to Benihana's, again, to try to put on a smile, took her out, tried to make her feel loved and celebrated on her birthday. And then I booked a flight out to New York to go back to New York, obviously without Johnny. So to ask you now turn to 225. And Your Honor, I'm going to refer to the last two blue spots on that page with the state of mind, mental condition. All right. It's still hearsay, Your Honor. May we approach? Yeah, would you want to approach? I just want to make sure I get the right context. Sidebar. The court says, which one? The last two? Camille. Yeah. Ms. Bredehoff. The last two. Crying my eyes out. She's sending them in two separate texts. All right. Crying my eyes out. Now this is state of mind. After dinner. Ms. Vasquez. After dinner when she's at the hotel. The court. We're losing context here because this is after she took the daughter out. Well, true. It's after remember what Kate James testified when she was having a great time? She was consuming and having no big deals. She wasn't upset at all. This is what she's expressing to Kate James. She's crying her eyes out, which is a state of mind at the point. She's crying her eyes out. She's very upset. But you're trying to relate it back to the time on the plane, her state of mind. She needs to be, sure, she's so upset. It just didn't go away. I'm going to sustain the objection. Okay? Thank you. We need to sidebar number 12. I'm going to ask you to turn now to 228. Your Honor, we're going to object on hearsay. If you want. First line, Your Honor. Is it all you're understanding Your Honor's ruling? But I think, all right, if you want to come forward, that's fine. Sidebar again. All right, state of mind. All right, this is, Ms. Bredehoff says, I need your help. I think that's clearly state of mind. Again, she's not asking the court for help. She's just reading Amber's text message where Amber says, I need your help. So that needs to be in like quotation marks. The court. How is that state of mind? I got the other one in. I understand that. Ms. Vasquez, I believe you just sustained the objection the same type of text message. The court, I understand. Actually, I thought the I need your help to Rocky came in precisely for that reason. Well, she just got in off the plane. Is that where we're at now? Or is this after dinner again? 7:57. On what day? The 20th? 4th? 24th? To her sister. That was sustained. I still think that it's her state of mind, Your Honor. She's saying, I need your help. The court. So you're trying to get, I need your help, Elaine. Right. Recognizing I will get all of them. The court. No, I understand that. Ms. Bredehoff. I fully appreciate Your Honor's ruling. A state of mind of the declarant's then existing state of mind, emotion, sensation, or physical condition, but not including a statement of memory or belief to prove the fact remembered. That's not a memory. I think it's clearly state of mind. I need help. Your Honor, you just sustained the same objection to I need help to Rocky Penanting. It's the same thing. It's honestly the same message. The court, it is the same message. This is what she did. Elaine, this is what she did? Ms. Vasquez, doesn't matter. The court, I don't see I need your help going to state of mind. I'm going to sustain the objection. Thank you. Thank you. Read on to objection number. Oh man, what objections are we on now? Same message. Next objection. Objection number 14. Okay, this will be the last objection for a little bit, I think. Oh, man. Man. I know. Judge Penny. Doctorate of Patience. I know. Oh, Judge Penny. I feel like Judge Penny would be a great parent. Can you imagine? Family functions, everyone's fighting, and Judge Penny is just like, everyone calm down. All right, so we got sidebar number 14. Again, another objection hearsay. What is this regarding? Oh, I will read all of this actually. Object on hearsay and going back and forth with Vasquez. Doesn't matter. Okay, so we're back in open court. Elaine says, so tell us please tell the jury what you did over the night, the next day, and at the hotel. Amber says, I cried a lot. I tried to surround myself with my friends, and resolved to leave him. I felt powerless. Nothing I did made a difference, on the plane. I was so careful. Objection, non-responsive. Please just tell us what you did. And can you tell us how you feel? But don't go backwards, okay? I tried to just get at the strength to commit to leaving him. I know I had to. I knew nothing else would make a difference, so I just got back to LA. New York, and started to go A-anon meetings every day. It's a support group for people who love addicts and alcoholics. What, if any, communication did you have with Mr. Deuters? Objection, hearsay. Your Honor, let me ask it this way. What, if any, communications did you have with Mr. Deuters communicating on behalf of Mr. Depp? Objection, hearsay. I would say agency on that. You have to lay a foundation for that. All right, let's go to 229. How could you, without saying what the contents is, could you tell us who his text messages with? Johnny's assistant, says Amber. What's his name? His name is Stephen Deuters. Okay, what, if any, communication were you having with him following the Boston plane incident? Objection, hearsay. May we approach? Oh, Elaine. Just sticking a what, if any, doesn't make it any better. I don't know. Maybe it'll work with other judges. All right, so now we're in the sidebar. Camille says, so I'll let Miss Brederhoff, the court. What's your objection first? Miss Camille, Miss Vasquez. My objection is hearsay, Your Honor. If you employees are hired to be speaking agents, Mr. Deuters, while acting as an assistant, Mr. Depp was not in charge of the communication with his then fiancée/girlfriend, and statements on speaking agents only matters within the sphere of their responsibilities. The court. And during the terms of their employment, Ms. Vasquez. And during the terms of the employment. I understand that. He says here, he's teary. He doesn't want to be a fuck up anymore. His words. And he testified in his deposition. Your Honor will remember we showed that Mr. Depp was told to reach out to Amber. The court. Depositions aren't foundation here, okay? So if you had him here to testify that he told him to say that, so we should wait until these later on? The deposition, you didn't rule on it, says Camille. The court. Okay, I didn't rule, so it wasn't part of the designation. Camille says no. The court. So is his deposition is not coming in? Ms. Vasquez, correct. Ms. Brederhoff, I'm not positive we want to put that in, Your Honor. Yeah, so I'm just confused. Why didn't Elaine Brederhoff summon Stephen Deuters? Is it because they know that Stephen Deuters had a whole other shit to say about Amber? I think Stephen Deuters was the assistant who felt really bad that he lied about the whole Australian dog incident. He lied to save Amber's ass, apparently, and he felt bad about it afterwards, and he decided to come out and tell the truth. I don't know. I think he had a lot of dirt on Amber, and that's probably why they didn't call him. Because they could have called him to testify and be like, oh, hey, weren't you texting on behalf of Johnny Depp? Didn't you say that Johnny Depp cried when he heard that Johnny Depp kicked Amber? But, I think there's a reason why they didn't fucking call him. And Stephen Deuters probably saw a lot since he was the assistant. Yeah, Deuters would decimate AH. Oh, man. So it's like, we don't want to call Deuters, but we want to get his text messages in. The court says we can't. The depositions are done. Brederhoff, I understand. Again, Depositions are done in this case. I understand. The ruling isn't happening. I understand. My argument here is for the entirety of 29, which goes from 29A through M. It's admission by a party opponent. A statement by the party's agent or employee made during the term of the agency or employment concerning a matter within the scope of such agency or employment. Right? But that's what I have here. I understand that. But I don't see the foundation for that. Only matters within the spheres of responsibilities and during the term of employment. So if I lay a foundation that she's communicating with him, you already said that. You already laid that foundation. He is an employee. It doesn't. The deposition testimony on this, you're saying as in a personal assistant, it was his realm of employment to text his girlfriend of his employer. That's what he testified. No, that is not before me. Yes, I'll sustain the objection. Thank you, Your Honor. But I'm sorry, which one? 229. For the record, I just want to make sure I get them all through. A through. Ms. Bredehoff, M. The court, N. Ms. Bredehoff, M. The court, M is in Mary. You guys ever watch M is in Mancy? But it was N is in M is in Mancy. If you guys know where that's from, let me know in the chat. It's one of my favorite scenes. They're like disabling this bomb and there's like different colors. And the guy is like, it's M as in Mancy. And then the lady cuts the bomb thing and it fucking explodes. Yeah. Oh man, I'm so sad. Archer used to be so good. Archer used to be so good. And then it just went down the trash bin. Man, did they finally make their did they finally make their seasons better? I'm just so disappointed in Archer. It was such a good show. So funny. That's true. Whenever I read Elaine talking to my head, I always read her as Miss Vasquez. Oh, I have to make sure I say that too. Miss Vasquez. Yeah. I wonder if that was just like her jabbing at Camille Vasquez. You know how some people do that? Just be really fucking petty. They'll like mispronounce your name. Just so they can get like a little semblance of like some sort of like weird power over you. I don't know. It's like really fucking weird. But I wonder if it was because Elaine was doing it on purpose or Elaine just really didn't know how to pronounce Camille's name. Oh man, anyone in here that are used to having their name mispronounced all the time? I feel like people always mispronounce my name. So like, I don't know. Now I just like kind of introduce myself like, oh, my name is Corgi. You can just call me Corgi. And people are like, oh, Courtney? Okay. I'm like, yeah, that's fine too. Whatever. I don't give a shit. Okay. So finally, no more sidebars for a little bit. We're back in open court. No more sidebars for a little bit. Elaine finally gets a break. She's doing her direct examination. We're going to go to sidebar 15 where Camille addresses AH's comment on an evidence. All right. Camille addresses AH's comment on evidence. So during a sidebar right now, Camille says, so, Your Honor, perhaps the witness misspoke, but she did say yesterday or the day before that she looked at some photographs. I just want it on the record that clear instruction is given to her, especially in the light of the break that we're having, that she's not supposed to be talking to the attorney about her testimony. Perhaps she misspoke, but she did say she looked. I assume she saw them before she was on. She did. She misspoke. Camille, at the end of the day, I'll do that again, but I don't need her commenting on the evidence or the evidentiary issues. That's the second time it's happened. I realize that, Your Honor, but I can't talk to her. I know you can't talk to her, but you can tell her not to talk about evidentiary issues. That's not her testimony. Oh, man. Ay, ay, ay. You think she did it on purpose? Scroggins. Scroggins. What did they call you instead? Elaine? Stop lying for your client. I know. She jumped in real quick in there. She did it. She did. We did that. I don't know. All right. The court says. Elaine says, okay. The court says, don't you agree? Yes, Your Honor. And that's why I wanted to raise, if you want to talk to her about that right now really quick or something, I just can't talk about things in front of the jury that we can discuss outside the jury. There's a reason we do things outside the jury's presence. Elaine, okay, I'll go tell her that right now. Thanks, Your Honor. Okay. Next, we have addresses the Australia recordings. Do you guys remember the Australia recording? I forgot that Amber actually blames it on Johnny Depp. Do you guys remember that when Johnny Depp testified and when he came back for rebuttal? Do you guys remember if Johnny Depp actually said that he recorded the Australia incident thing or not? Because I remember thinking that like I thought Amber Heard recorded the the aftermath of the Australia incident because she wanted to listen in on the employees to see if they would talk shit about her. But we have her right now on the stand, and she said that it was Johnny who was the one that recorded it. And I don't know if she's lying and pointing fingers at him, but I don't remember his testimony. I don't remember if he ever even mentioned it in rebuttal, whether or not it was actually him that pressed the record button or if he did it by accident. Yeah, did Johnny ever talk about that? Do you remember? Did he ever address it, or did Camille ever address it during cross-examination? Okay, so Australia recording 4564. Elaine asks, did there come a time that you discovered a recording in your iPhone from Australia? Yes, much later. There was this 5-hour-long recording, and naturally, I didn't even know what that could possibly be. And because even though Johnny and I recorded each other often as part of our, struggles to figure out our relationship, this was, 5 hours was unusual. And that's when I discovered that there had been a recording at the end of the Australia incident, if you will. And did you listen to that recording? I've heard it, yes. And does it accurately represent what was depicted in the recording? Yes. Camille, objection, form, lack of foundation. All right, you want to approach? I'm not sure. Sidebar. Camille says, the recording, Your Honor, is 5 hours long. She's not there for most of it. It's other people's voices. So I guess the question is, how can she say the whole thing was accurate if she wasn't there the whole time? I'm trying to indicate that she is. Are we going to move it in? Don't we already have part of it in? We do not, because there's other voices. Well, let's do that now. Are you moving it in? Yes, I'm moving in defendants 378. The court. What are the parts you're moving in? You're not moving in all 5 hours to the jury, are you? No. But the parts you have they're other people. They're absolutely other people. I don't understand why that wouldn't be admissible. The court. Hearsay. Ms. Bredhoff. But if I'm understanding, it's not hearsay to see videos. No, videos aren't statements. Videos are pictures. But recordings aren't statements here. If there's hearsay inside the recording, it's hearsay. All right. Well, then I'm moving to admit them too. And I'm moving to admit the recording. But I guess Your Honor's going to deny. But objection, hearsay. The objection's hearsay. I'm going to sustain the objection. Ms. Bredhoff, can you tell me the number of the exhibit so I can? 378. Okay. Thank you. All right. Thank you. It's on the recording. Yeah, jury judge said that. Yeah, jury judge suspected that it was her. She recorded the aftermath. I just want to know if Johnny Depp ever addressed that when he was if they remembered to talk about that or not. Maybe it wasn't a big deal, but did he ever address it? That's what I want to know. Or if Camille ever addressed it or confronted her about it. Sidebar. All right. Last one for not today, but last one for day 16 of trial. We got a sidebar where Camille objects to, what do you think? What do you think we're objecting here? Hearsay. Okay, the court says, I just don't know what the statement is, so I can't say if it's for the truth or not. What did his son say? Ms. Bredhoff, his son's going to say, do you need help? And that she's going to say, she pointedly looked at Johnny and said, no, thank you, Jack. And then she wanted to change. And that's when he came after her. So it all fits that she said, no, thank you. So you're saying hearsay? Hearsay. Why are you saying it's not? It's not offered to prove the truth of the matter. What he said, the fact that he said, do you need help? It's not offered to prove the truth that he wanted to help her. What's it offered for? It's to show the chain that she says, no, thank you. And that she looks at Johnny and that's what sets him off. And he beats her up. Well, then it's not for the truth. Well, then it's for the truth of the matter. Well, but it's not because Jack is saying, do you need help? All right, I'll overrule the objection. Okay, thank you. So Elaine finally gets a win right there. Ah, finally, Elaine. She might have gotten some other ones too. There's some sidebars that I didn't comment on. Thought they were just meh. Not really much going on there. Okay, now we have this is a pretty lengthy one. This is from May 16, 2022. This is day 17. So at this point, AEH is still under direct examination. She's on her, I think, third day now. And afterwards, we're going to do the cross-examination for Camille Vasquez. And I think Camille Vasquez does a really good job with the cross-examination. She starts pretty strong. And she ends really strong, too. Because remember, the cross-examination by Camille Vasquez on day 1 ends with the donations. And the donations made Amber Heard look really bad on the stand. I don't know why her lawyers weren't just like, hey, just fucking say that you didn't donate, okay? Just say you didn't donate, just admit to it. All right, move on. That's about it. We can hear with her shoe stepping around. So she wasn't, oh, yeah, people mentioned that. I need to re-listen to the recording. It was hard to listen to. It was like a phone that was like hidden in her purse or something, right? Or something like that. I just don't see why JD would record the aftermath. Like, oh, let me listen on my own employees to see what they think. All right, y'all. What do we got here? What do we got here? So we are on day 17 right now. Still direct examination. Sidebar number 1. Oh, this is a long sidebar at the very beginning of the court day. We got lawyers pointing fingers at each other's side. The Depp team said that something was leaked from Heard's PR team. Heard's PR said that it was Adam Waldman that leaked something. Let's see what we got on the T. Okay, so the court says, good morning. Good morning. Everyone says good morning. They need some redactions. Mr. Chu says, so clearly the result of the bench conference was leaked to their PR person who quoted an article, who sent to an article to Lockhart. So you probably haven't had a chance to see it, but clearly it's been leaked. And you don't know who leaked it though, says the court. We don't know who leaked it, Mr. Chu. Ms. Vasquez, it was transferred to the photograph, Your Honor, right? Okay. Elaine, we believe that it was planted by Mr. Depp's side. We think Mr. Waldman leaked it or modified this past weekend. We can look at this is important. This is the photo that this says that was released. So you can just see, Your Honor, was somebody in the courtroom took a picture of yeah, I think that's from Court TV, unfortunately. That's the photograph, Your Honor, says Camille. The photograph is the one. Yeah, unfortunately, that's from Court TV. Was it a picture of... what was the drama with the Court TV thing again? Was it like they accidentally took a picture of the jury, or was it the evidence or something? I don't remember. Or was that a different case? What was the Court TV thing? Mr. Chu, the photograph was the one Your Honor excluded. We obviously wouldn't leak something. This is the split lip she had. The court. Well, the jury's not supposed to be looking at anything. I really don't know who's going to do anything. Who's doing anything? Mr. Chu. No, we understand. We would hope that there'd be some kind of... The court. Well, I can tell you that I wasn't thrilled that both of them made public statements either. I was not thrilled about that at all. So that's both sides. And that I do know came from their source. I would appreciate that if we don't do any more public statements in the middle of the trial. Correct? Both sides. Elaine. Right. That was PR. Well, that should still be understood, Your Honor, says Mr. Chu. Elaine says, understood, Your Honor. Okay. Mr. Chu, we understand that the final matter is Your Honor has heard about the hasta la muerte knife. The knife, yes. We would like to bring it into the courtroom. We know obviously we need Your Honor's approval to do that. Okay. Just to show... This is for closing, or is it going to be evidence? Just for cross, just to show the cross. Because she's now saying that these alleged abuses occurred earlier than she's changing the story. But the point is that it's all more probative to show the jury how unlikely it would have been that if she was actually getting beat to have this knife. All right, so you won't put into evidence. You just want to bring it in for a demonstrative. We just want to bring it in, but we want Your Honor's approval. Any objections? Elaine Bruderhoff, that's fine. The court, let the deputies know. We will. We just wanted to ask you first. Elaine, one more thing, Your Honor. It's about the transcript. I looked at the argument of the motion to strike, the response motion to strike, and Mr. Chu called Amber Heard a serial abuser, that she's not only abused Mr. Depp, but others, which is a violation of motion in limine. There's no evidence that's come out on that. All right, the jury wasn't here. No. Okay. My point is that he did say that. It's not in evidence yet. I'm going to get the final text because I didn't have it. I don't want to interrupt, Your Honor, but I do want to make sure that we don't have that happen in closings, for example. Mr. Chu, I don't remember whether I said that or not. The court, I don't know, but the jury wasn't here. Mr. Chu, but if that was said... Correct. The jury was not here. He called her a serial abuser to Mr. Depp and others. Ms. Vasquez, Your Honor, respectfully, there was evidence already. Dr. Curry testified that she hadn't reviewed her transcript, and Rocky Pennington swears Rocky Pennington testified that Amber had struck her too, and that is in evidence. Ms. Bruderhoff, that's not abuse. Mr. Chu, sure it is. The court, right, it doesn't matter. It's a non sequitur, actually. What was the leaked court TV photo? Something with Amber Heard and like a split lip, maybe, or I think that was the evidence. You don't remember the drama of the court TV? Yeah, Ben Chu says picture with a split lip. Okay, so we have people pointing fingers. I think we're good now. That's not abusive. Yeah, I think it looked really bad that Amber Heard's like ex-best friend went up there and testified, was like, yeah, we like hit each other. It's like, that's like really weird. I don't know how How many friends do you have where you just like hit them back and forth? And they're not like childhood best friends either. Okay, sidebar number 3. We got AH is trying to describe JD, but is having a tough time because of all the objections by Camille Vasquez. So I'm going to read, scroll up a little bit and just read some of this for context, okay? So Elaine Berderhoff is asking, okay, I'm going to take you to January or February 2016. Can you please describe the jury what was going on with you and Johnny in the January timeframe after the December 15 and the Bahamas incident? Amber, after the Bahamas, Johnny's sobriety fell apart, and there was just none of it. It was, he stopped communicating with the medical team that he had hired. Objection, calls for speculation. How do you know that? I was there. They fired him. Objection, calls for speculation. The court, I'll sustain the objection. Ms. Berderhoff, okay. Without telling what the medical people did, go ahead and tell us what was going on with you and Johnny Depp. Amber, yeah, his mental health, for lack of what it looks like, his mental health was just falling apart, what it looked like. Camille, objection, calls for speculation. The court, I'll sustain the objection. Question, what did you observe that led you to believe that it was his mental health falling apart? Question, Camille Vasquez, objection, Your Honor, calls for speculation. Ms. Berderhoff, she can say what she observed. The court, I'll sustain the objection as leading. Next question. Question, if anything, did you observe about Mr. Depp's state? Amber, he was hallucinating, auditory. Vasquez, objection, calls for speculation. The court, I'll sustain the objection. Question, please tell the jury exactly what he was doing that led you to believe he was hallucinating. Ms. Vasquez, objection, leading. The court, sustain. Question, what, if any, was Mr. Depp doing that would lead you to believe he was hallucinating? Vasquez, same objection. Court, sustained. Question, please describe Mr. Depp was saying in January of 2016. He was talking to people who weren't there, meaning people who were not in the room. He was communicating with people, sounds, and voices that weren't there. I know because I was sometimes in the room, sometimes on the phone with him, and he would tell me I had a conversation with him that I did not have. He would say that I said something that I did not have. He would comment on somebody being in my room behind me that wasn't there. It was terrifying. It was terrifying because once he smashed a board right next to my face, it was unclear to me whether he was even mad at me or he was convinced that the guy he said he saw in the room was within the room. I didn't know if Johnny felt the man was in the room with us or not at the point, but I remember he put his fist through the whiteboard in the kitchen. He hallucinated right in front of me and Camille, objection, calls for speculation. Don't use the word hallucinate. Amber, sorry. Just describe what led you to believe. Objection. Your Honor, objection. The court, I'll sustain the objection. She can testify to what she observed. Ms. Berderhoff, thank you. Your Honor, please tell the jury what you observe. Your Honor, may we approach the court? Okay. Camille Vasquez, she's coaching the witness and she's testifying. It's so inappropriate. Ms. Berderhoff, she described the court what she observed. She's talking about your question. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. So the reason why Camille says that she's coaching the witness is because Amber Heard keeps using the word hallucinate, but there's an objection there because that's like speculation. And so now Elaine Berderhoff is like, okay, just don't use the word hallucinate. And then Camille's like, well, you're not allowed to coach the client, so you can't be saying that. So now that's why they're having a sidebar right now. What if any? Okay, sidebar. This is a quick little sidebar. Okay. She's coaching the witness and she's testifying. It's so inappropriate. She described what she described. She's talking about your questions. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. The court. Yeah, just your questions are leading to the answers. I mean, just what she observed, what she saw. That's fine. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Next sidebar we got. AH discusses a birthday incident where she goes to Coachella. Team Heard released a statement when judge said not to this morning. Ooh, yikes. More trouble stuff with Team Heard. All right. Mr. Chu. 2 things. 1, they've issued another statement. We asked them to withdraw the statement. I'm not aware of any statement, Your Honor. Mr. Nadehoff. I have no idea what they're talking about. Mr. Chu. Another press statement since Your Honor. I'm unaware of. Ms. Vasquez. It's in People's Magazine. The court. Just now. Mr. Chu. Yeah. Ms. Berderhoff. I have been physically at the podium, Your Honor, since you talked to me. Mr. Nadehoff, I have no idea what they're talking about. Or I have no idea what he's talking about. Camille, well, that's the first thing I did when you admonished us. I contacted our PR. The court, Has anyone contacted the PR to tell them that they can't? Camille, yeah, but they retracted. Mr. Nadehoff, I think we did. The court, this morning, right? Mr. Nadehoff, did you contact PR and tell them? So he's looking at Bredehoff. Bredehoff says, not to issue any statements. Mr. Nadehoff, this morning. Elaine, yeah. The court, this morning, right? Mr. Roddenborn, right after there was statements that were issued from, I understand both sides before your honor ruled. The court, right, I understand. Mr. Nadehoff, and I told him he hasn't done anything since then. Yeah, there's been no statement. Camille, there's a statement, your honor. I can read it to you. Mr. Nadehoff, I mean, it may have been that came out after your ruling, but the statement was made, whatever was said, and I don't know what it was. It may have been before you said it. I can show you the email for it. Mr. Chu, we would like the statement. We would ask the statement be retracted since it's after your honors. Ms. Bredehoff, how could you retract a statement? Nadehoff, what's that? The court, can you retract the statement? Mr. Nadehoff, I can let him know. I can ask. Sure. Mr. Chu, we also have a motion on for prior acts of violence. The court, okay. Mr. Chu, before the cross. Ms. Vasquez, before the cross. Mr. Chu, we wanted to give you an opportunity to review it before the cross. All right, I'll review it, says the court. Camille, all right, thank you, your honor. The court, he was just asked to go out so we can contact him. Ms. Vasquez, yes. Mr. Chu, thank you, your honor. Ms. Vasquez, your honor, if we can have an instruction to the witness, she's not to characterize. So I told my witness, or I told my friend, but I can't tell you what I told them. That's inappropriate. She's characterizing hearsay, and it's a complete contradiction of Elaine. I agree. She's not allowed to say hearsay, but she can still tell things and then say what she did as a result. And that's perfectly appropriate. Ms. Vasquez, the problem is that I have this, she's literally looking at the jury saying, well, I can't tell you what I told my therapist, but let me tell you. Ms. Bredehoff, she's able to, your honor has ruled that she can. The court, I know that she can, but she's just to testify, not to characterize things. That's all. Ms. Bredehoff, I think she's doing her best, but I can't discuss her testimony with her, so. Mr. Chu, she knows exactly what she's doing. The court, do you want to tell her quickly not to characterize just what she observed, what she saw? Ms. Bredehoff, well, I think she's trying her best, but I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to tell her. You know, I think. Then Chu, she keeps saying, she said it 4 or 5 times. She's saying to the jury, well, I can't tell you, but this is what I understand. The court, well, if it happens again, I'll have to admonish her myself. Bredehoff says, all right. Everyone says, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. The whole world was hallucinating. Age was only with a clear mind. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Elaine. All right. Sidebar number 6. We got AH photo from the phone throwing incident. Okay. Phone throwing incident. Elaine is still doing her direct examination of Amber Heard. Elaine asks, and could you please describe to the jury what this is a picture of? Amber, this is my face after Johnny threw the phone at it. Okay, I'm going to now, Michelle, can you pull up defendants 708? What does this accurately depict the scene portrayed in this picture? Oh, and does this accurately depict the scene portrayed in the picture? Sorry. Amber, yes, it does. All right, and I also see that there's a little what we call metadata item on there. How do you get that on a picture? Does that happen? How does that happen? Can you briefly describe? Your honor, objection, that's speculation, lack of foundation. Okay, if you want to approach. Camille Vasquez says the same thing, lack of foundation, speculation, hearsay. Elaine says, it's not lack of foundation. I'm going to ask her how that gets on, how they put it there. They put it on there at the time they took the picture. The court, she's not here as an expert. Yeah, what does Amber Heard know about metadata? Come on now. Court says, she's not here as an expert. She's just, right. It doesn't require expert testimony. This is on the next series of photos, your honor, and it's on there because they put it on there as the picture was being taken. You have it on your iPhone. Everybody has it on their iPhone. They can press that button, and that's part of it. It's not an extra feature, Camille, but that's inaccurate. When the picture is taken, obviously it's taken without that. After the fact, what you can do is put that on, just put a little icon. What the fuck did she say? Just after that, what you can do is put on just a little icon just to show when the picture was taken. That can be manipulated, of course. Oh, she meant the eye for like information. I think it's like on the top right-hand corner of your pictures. That can be manipulated, of course, Your Honor. And what I suspect is that they took a screenshot of a phone, her iPad, that has the information bar on top of the picture. Ms. Bredehoff, she can testify to what she did, and they can have an expert witness in their case. Camille, that's hearsay, Your Honor. This is on the pictures, Your Honor. Ms. Vasquez, no. The court, she can testify as how she put it on the pictures is fine. You can cross-examine on it, but we're not going to get into what metadata is or any of that. Elaine, I wasn't going to. I was just trying to explain how it got there. Ms. Vasquez, okay, thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Back to open court. Elaine says, can you please explain how this particular item on here got onto the photos? Amber Heard, it's a feature that was on the iPhotos, you know, where your pictures are stored on your phone. Typically, you just push info. What was that push for in this instance? I pushed info, and that's what came up. Your Honor, I'm going to move the admission of defendant 708. Any objections? Your Honor, I would just say the picture be redacted on hearsay grounds. Go back and forth a little bit. Metadata. Now we're in the sidebar again. 9%. Oh, man. 9%. Hello, Polly. How are you doing today? Thank you so much. Thanks for popping on in. Hello. I need to wash my greasy hair. I'm getting a haircut today. I'm super excited for. Yes! Finally. Thank you. Yeah, let Elaine explain metadata. We'll still be in trial. Okay, so we're in the sidebar right now. They're talking about metadata. Elaine says, metadata is not hearsay, Your Honor. It's not hearsay. It's an out of court. It's not an out of court statement. It's just like a photo. It's just like a video. That's part. Camille, no, that's the DNA. Ms. Brederhoff, it's not an out of court statement. It's not by acoustic. The court, okay, yes, ma'am. It's the DNA for the photograph. Batch DNA can be manipulated. It's a text. It is a hearsay. Ms. Brederhoff, it's not an article statement, and we have an expert witnesses, Your Honor. Ms. Vasquez, that can testify to it. The court, they can testify to it. Unless we have an expert witness, I'll sustain the objection, all right? All right. Number 9. Elaine argues with Judge Penny about metadata again. Elaine, that's all audios from this morning. Thank you. And this is redacted. All right, which? 773, 772. Okay. And Your Honor, denying that the metadata on the photos does not constitute hearsay. It wasn't hearsay. Foundation was the main issue. I didn't have the opportunity to ask her. No, but the foundation, we're going to get through the expert. That's what we said. Okay. All right. Yes. Mr. Roddenborn pops in. This is just an agreed order from the motions of the jurors' identities. It's not an agreed order, but is an ordered sign. Mr. Chu, and we agree. We haven't seen the brief, but we just object to some of the characterizations about Mr. Depp. The court, well, I understand that. Mr. Chu, but we agree to the ruling. The court, do you have any objection to me telling them during the jury instruction? Mr. Chu, nope, not at all. Mr. Roddenborn, and that was specifically in our brief. We think that those should be done prior to deliberations. The court, I was just going to make it part of my incorporating jury instructions. Mr. Chu, we have no objections to the release. We just took a couple of pot shots. Pot shots? What's a pot shot? Pot shots? That's fine. It's under seal. All right. Anything else? We're ready for the jury. All right. Jury's coming in. I think we're good. No objections. Next, we have Elaine is being admonished by Judge Penny. Oh, what for? Why is she being admonished? What happened? The question is, Elaine says, and what are you talking about here, Amber? Amber says that even though Johnny told me that his guards would say whatever he needed them to say, that they were the same guards who had told me that I would lose my life in this way. Camille Vasquez, objection. Oh, Camille Vasquez, objection, Your Honor. Hearsay. The court, all right, objection. Ms. Brederhoff, it came in through the tape, so that's all right. That's fine. Your Honor, if we can approach, I'm sorry. The court, you cannot keep commenting on the evidence. Ms. Brederhoff, I'm sorry. The court, please do not do that again. It comes in when it comes in. Do not talk to the jury about that. Okay. Your Honor, thank you. So this is the comment that they're talking about here. It came through the tape. Your Honor says, don't comment on that. It's coming soon. Don't give the jury a preview. Sidebar number 11, we've got, possibly opening the door to Amber's attorney fees, paying them, something about Elon Musk, 4867. All right, so the question by Elaine. Wait, is this still Elaine? This is still Elaine. Okay, still Elaine going on here. Stop being so dodgy. Okay, so Elaine says, before we get to that, did anyone make donations to the Children's Hospital or the ACLU on your behalf during the time period? Answer, yes, Elon, he was my boyfriend at the time. He had his charitable contributions that he made. He made $500K to both in my honor and my name in 2017, I believe. And have you completely fulfilled your donations to the ACLU or the Children's Hospital? I have not yet. And why not? Because Johnny sued me for $50 million in March of 2019. I have spent over $6 million. Ms. Vasquez. Objection, Your Honor. This is motion in limine. Ms. Bredehoff. That part was supposed to come in. The court. Why don't you come forward? Let's take a look. Sidebar. That particular part was supposed to come in. Nothing else. That was the ruling. Ms. Vasquez. We moved it. It's filed from me. The court. I don't have it with me. Sorry, I have to investiture. We had the investiture here. Investiture. Can you pronounce that? Investiture. Did she spell that wrong? Investiture. The action of formally investing a person with honors or rank. A ceremony in which honors or ranks are formally conferred on a particular person. Investiture. Investiture. I don't know. That's hard to pronounce. Judge Betty says, I don't have it with me. Sorry, we had the investiture here. Okay. Your Honor, it's on page 9 of the order. Ms. Bredehoff. Of the order. Okay, we've got the order. Good. Ms. Bredehoff. Yeah. Page 9. Now the order. Page 9. This is it. There's 2 different orders. Is the one I signed, right? Right. This is signed by you on April 10th. All right. Page 9. Yeah. It says, if Miss Hurt opens the door as to who's paying her attorney's fees, Mr. Depp must first seek permission from the court outside the jury for raising the issue on this. And Mr. Musk may be asked about his payment, if any, of attorney's fees. And the court may give appropriate instructions. What we said specifically at the hearing is that what we're going to say, she spent $6 million in attorney fees. By the way, Elaine also slipped in the $6 million during closing arguments. I don't know if you guys remember that. Sneaky. That's what I remembered. The court says, we're not going to be able to. Elaine, Your Honor, I can't hear you. I'm sorry. What we said at the hearing is that we're going to say that she spent $6 million in attorney's fees. And this is the rest. All of the rest of this is not allowed. If you're going to say $6 million, then everything is allowed. Well, you've got to go by the hearing. That's not in the order. Right? But I think then if they open the door so they can ask who's paying, Ms. Vasquez, we haven't even cross-examined her, Your Honor. The court, they haven't opened the door. Ms. Bredehoff, but my understanding was that, no. The question is whether that we open the door in the attorney's fees and that they can ask certain questions. There's all kinds of tiers in here, Your Honor. There's the insurance company, there's the reference to the attorneys, etc. That's all the other things. But we specifically said we would be asking her that. I'll get the hearing transcripts. Ms. Vasquez, I did not hear the question. The court. And now they can ask her. They don't have to approach me now. They can ask her about the attorney's fees. Ms. Bredehoff, that's fine. They can ask who's paying. The court. Who's paying? Insurance. Everything. Ms. Vasquez. Insurance and Elon Musk. The court. I mean, if you ask the question, that opens the door for them to ask her who's paying for all the attorney's fees. Elaine. Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. Okay. Should Mr. Roddenborn just done the direct examination instead? I think they should have. Yeah, maybe they thought Elaine would have done better, woman to woman, but maybe it would have just been better if just Mr. Roddenborn just did it. Oh, yeah. Or maybe they need to hire another female attorney, I guess. Okay. So, done with that sideshow. Now we're going to talk about the Adam Waldman statements. We got Adam Waldman statement. Okay. So the question, still same thing by Miss Bredehoff. Ms. Bredehoff. Wait, did I skip one? Oh, that's nothing. Okay. Bredehoff. What was your understanding on those behalf of Mr. Waldman was making those 3 statements? Camille. Objection. Lack of foundation. Cause for speculation. The court. If you want to approach again, that's just not what we just said here. Sidebar. I sustain the objection on that. That's the legal conclusion. That's facts. But that wouldn't be. That's just understanding of who did it. I'll sustain the objection all day long, every day. Wait, I think I numbered this wrong. Elaine says, that's fine. I have other people that can testify. Oh, I must have missed something over here. They were talking about the Adam Waldman statements. They already had a sidebar about this. Yeah. Should I just read it? Okay, so the question was, Elaine says, okay, I'm going to take you now to the damages that you suffered as a result of those statements by Mr. Waldman on Mr. Depp's behalf. Please tell the jury how you are doing. Ms. Vasquez, objection. That's a legal conclusion, Your Honor. Move to strike counsel's testimony. Come forward. Sidebar. For the record, do you want me to give your full question? Ms. Bredehoff, my question was going to be, please tell the jury how your reputation was doing prior to these statements. Okay. That's part of the first where she said, that wasn't your question. That question's okay. The second question is fine. The first one, I'm sorry. I'll ask. All right. We'll see. We'll ask that it be stricken. I'll strike that. Okay, thank you. So they strike that. She asks the question and still no good. And Judge Penny is like, you know what? I'm going to sustain that objection all day, every day. Okay, Ms. Bredehoff? You can't get the legal conclusion in, Elaine. All right, sidebar. Elaine argues with Judge Penny. Poor Judge Penny has to school her again, I think. Camille praised the doc. Did she? I thought she said that, or was the last thing that I heard about the doc was that it wasn't social media that made Amber Heard lose. It was Amber Heard that lost, and that social media was just reacting to her in real time. That's all I've seen so far. I haven't seen the Camille praising the doc yet. Was that like a different interview? I saw the interview that she did with Access, the one that Tug posted up. All right, sidebar. What's going on here? Elaine argues with Judge Penny. Okay, so the judge says, I'm just going to get the copy that the court has here. Okay, what's the objection first? Camille, objection is hearsay and relevance. Okay. Why? I don't know why her contract. Why the contract? Your Honor, I have a brief on this. It's not hearsay. Contracts are not hearsay in Virginia. Virginia laws is if you have a binding contract, these are legal obligations. I would really appreciate these briefs prior to testimony. Your Honor, I didn't know she was going to object. You can just assume there's going to be objections. Excellent point by you. So with legal contracts that have legal consequences, there's legal effects, no relevance to the legal effect here. True, but there's no. These are her documents. It shows how much she was getting paid, shows that she had options for Aquaman and Aquaman 2. But it's not a contract dispute case where it would have legal effect. Correct, Your Honor, but it's for evidence of the damages. Well, she can testify to how much she made, but you can't get the contract in. It's hearsay. There is no relevance to its legal effect. Well, I would assert, Your Honor, that the case law says otherwise, but under contract, the law of contracts, you're right. If this was a contract case, I'd be there right with you. That's just not where we are. So I can ask her the questions on each of these. You can ask her. I'm going to go through them now. You can discuss how much she made. I'm assuming there's no objection to how she made for L'Oreal. Camille says no. The court, you can just ask how much she made. Just can't get the contracts in. Camille, thank you. See, Elaine should know. I don't know. She's like, see, contracts are not hearsay in Virginia. Virginia law. It's like, I don't know, Elaine. It's like, maybe she just does like shoddy research and doesn't actually do a thorough research of everything. Ay. Judge Petty. I just want to remind people, Virginia is Elaine's territory. Dennison from a different state. Camille Vasquez from California. Ben Chu, I would consider, VA too, because DC, VA, Maryland, they're all like smushed together. But yeah, I don't know. Elaine. It's not like, maybe I would understand if Elaine came all the way from Virginia and then practiced in California where she wasn't familiar with the laws and maybe like she didn't have time to be up to speed to it. I don't know, but this is Virginia. Like, girl, you should have got at this. You watched the lawyer, lesson talking about it and watching the video where she's asked about it. She says the documentary was and did a good job. Oh, what interview was this? Let me take a look at it. Well, we'll take a look at it. We got direct over now cross-examination. Okay, so we're done. We're done with Elaine. Well, we're not done with Elaine. I'm sorry, because there's still a lot of sidebars. But we're done with the direct examination of Elaine. Now we're finally going to do... I'm going to take Elaine off. Bye, Elaine. Elaine, have a good one. We'll take Elaine off. And now... Oh, I forgot to put this up. This is with Elaine and Camille Vasquez. I'll put that up for maybe tomorrow. Now we have Camille Vasquez here. We have Miss Camille Vasquez doing the cross-examination. There you go. I'll make her tiny little small one and I'll leave her right there. Okay. what do we got going on with the cross-examination? So we're nearing the end of the day, cross-examination by Camille Vasquez. And at this point, we haven't seen any action from Camille Vasquez. I mean, we saw her doing did she do the open statements or was it Ben Chu? No, Ben Chu. No, I think they both did opening statements, right? I think they both split it. They may have. But we haven't really seen too much from Camille Vasquez. And I remember thinking throughout the entire trial, I was like, oh, Camille Vasquez, she looks like such a nice person. I don't know. I feel like she might get destroyed by Amber Heard because I've seen the transcripts with Amber Heard. I've seen like the other depositions and stuff. And Amber Heard she's manipulative and she can be cunning at times. And I just wasn't sure if she was going to get steamrolled. But oh my God, did Camille Vasquez prove me wrong the moment she got up there and asked her the first hard questions. Oh man. So I think Camille Vasquez does, of course, a really fucking good job. We're going to go to sidebar number 18. Elaine doesn't know. Oh, this is the part where it kind of feels like Age threw her team under the bus. Ursula, thank you so much for the cute little lemony boy dance. It's so cute. They have such cute stickers on here. I wish they did the same thing on Twitch. Thank you so much for the $9.99. I appreciate it. I appreciate your support. Thanks for being here. And yeah, okay, he's so cute. He's so adorable. Ben and Camille did opening and closing. Okay, yeah. Opening, I just didn't remember. So I think for opening was split with Ben and Camille, and then also with Mr. Roddenborn and Roddenborn and Elaine as well. Man, at this point though, we don't know if Amber Heard is lying about how there were pictures that for some reason is not here. But Elaine's like, I don't know. We have so many pictures. Like, I'm pretty sure everything is in, but her client is up there on the stand saying, no, my pictures aren't in here. I don't know. I produced everything. I don't know why the pictures aren't here. So I don't know. She was just trying to lie on the spot and she just threw her lawyers under the bus. You know, does it really surprise me? Not really. 4970. So we're going to back it up a little bit. This is with Camille Vasquez. This is a picture of you and Mr. Depp at the night after Mr. Depp allegedly whacked you in the face so hard that you thought he had broken his nose. Oh, okay. So this is the night where, apparently they went to like some award show. They got into a fight. She said that Johnny Depp hit her so hard that she broke her nose. But we have pictures of her and videos of her the night after. And the night after they go to this show and we have videos of her laughing and her nose is just not swollen. It's not broken. I don't know what's wrong with her. I don't know what's wrong with her. Okay, so Camille says, this is a picture of you and Mr. Depp at the event the night after Mr. Depp allegedly whacked you in the face so hard that you thought he had broken your nose. Amber, he did whack me in the face, and I think it broke my nose. And this is you the night after? Yes, it is. Ms. Vasquez says, let's pull up exhibit 1254. This is also a picture of you at the same event, correct, Ms. Heard? That is correct. Move to admit plaintiff's exhibit 1254. Brother House has no objection. They can publish. Just to confirm, the jury can see it. This is a picture of you at that same event the night after Mr. Depp allegedly whacked you in the face so hard that you thought he broke your nose. This is a picture of me after he did whack me in the face. The night after, right? Yes, it is. I believe it was the night after, yes. Your nose doesn't appear to be injured in any of these pictures. Does it, Ms. Heard? I'm wearing makeup. Your nose doesn't appear to be injured in any of these pictures. Does it, Ms. Heard? That's why I'm wearing makeup. Right? And makeup covers up swelling, right? Makeup doesn't cover swelling. Ice will, though. Ice will cover up swelling. Ice reduces swelling. Normally, the swelling after the kind of injury, it's not as bad as you might imagine. But for me, it wasn't that bad. I have a picture of it underneath the makeup, and that's how I know how to reference it. And a picture you haven't produced or shown to the jury, I did. Right, Ms. Heard? I produced everything. But you wouldn't have shown it, you haven't shown it to this jury? I would like to very much. It's not the job. It's not my job. She's blaming her lawyers. I would like to very much. It's not my job. Ms. Vasquez, Your Honor, may we approach? The court says, yes, that's fine. Doing a sidebar right now. Your Honor, she's characterizing that she's producing photographs that hasn't been... Is this your photograph? There are photographs that haven't been produced. She said there's no photo. It wasn't listed in any direct examination. Ms. Bredehoff, first of all, we have a motion in limine court ordered that we don't bring up discovery issues without first checking with the court. Second of all, Your Honor, I don't know whether we have a lot of pictures that came in through the investigation, going to the devices, and Your Honor has ruled that we can't put any of them in. I don't know if it's this one or not. We certainly have been diligent in producing everything we have, and there certainly are injuries that we didn't find early that came in through the last device. So I don't know the answer to that. And those prohibit me from introducing a lot. No, I'm asking this question. Is there a picture of her that she has just testified that she said there's a picture that she gave you guys that has the nose? I don't know, Your Honor. I don't know. There's a lot of pictures. I know. But if there's no picture, I have an issue with that. The answer is, I don't know whether she does or not. There are so many pictures. There's no way for me to just know that. I just want to bring this up, by the way. This picture was never produced throughout the trial. I don't think even though she went up there during cross-examination, I don't think they ever reproduced it. Not even on redirect. Not even on redirect or rebuttal. So where is this picture that Amber has? Where is it? Oh, yeah. I wonder if she decided to just lie on the spot because she realized how bad it sounds. Like, oh, I had a broken nose. And Camille's like, boom, there's a picture of you of the day afterwards. Where's the broken nose? And she's like, I have the picture of it with no makeup. I don't know. It's not my job to produce these pictures. It's Elaine's job. Oh, man. Okay. So, calm her tits. Let's see. Miss Brederhoff. Oh, poor Brederhoff. Brederhoff says, the answer is, I don't know whether she does or not. There's so many pictures. There's no way for me to just know that. Best guess. Not for you, but she should be able to know that. Okay, I just don't know. There's nothing I can do about it. She can testify. I think she should be able to prohibit it from testifying. I don't think she can be prohibited. She's asking her questions. The court. Right. I don't know the answer to those. She's asking whatever she is. She can't be responsible for knowing thousands of pictures. We're talking. Here's the problem. If you're saying that you don't know that it exists, or you don't know if it exists, it doesn't go to the jury. I think it was because it was from an ENT, which was being twisted into JD damaged my nose. You're talking about the ENT. I think that's another thing that Amber said that she swears that there was ENT medical records, but Camille said there wasn't. Was there ever an ENT medical record? I know she went to go see Dr. Kipper, and there was like some weird medical record there, but I don't think she ever went to like an ENT specialist, right? Yeah, she threw Elaine under the bus. Elaine, the legal team. I don't know. Okay, so the court says, here's the problem. If you're saying that you don't know it exists or you don't know if it exists, it doesn't go to the jury. Elaine, I can go back tonight and look, Your Honor, but I don't know the answer. I understand that. That's not the problem. There's thousands of documents. She keeps commenting on the evidence or lack of evidence. I understand she asked a question. There wasn't anything, but the answer is that there isn't. But she keeps saying there are pictures. I understand. She's asking if there's pictures, which is actually a violation of the court order on the motion in limine. That's not a violation of the court order. It is. The judge is saying it's not. I don't think Your Honor can prohibit her from testifying that she has them. Camille Vasquez. That's not what she's saying. The court. She's saying that they exist. Ms. Brederhoff. I understand that. And I'm telling you under oath that I, as an officer of this court, I don't know. There's more than hundreds of thousands of pictures that came out of that. And we had a bunch of them put into evidence after they went through that process. And Your Honor ruled they can't come in. So there may well be, all right, maybe the ones we're not allowed to get in. I would like some type of instruction, Your Honor, that she's not to comment on pictures. She's testifying that there are pictures that exist. The court. But you asked the question. Ms. Brederhoff. But she opened the door. The court. No, she didn't open the door. Ms. Vasquez. No, they haven't been produced, Your Honor, and that's the problem here. They weren't produced. The court. On time. Ms. Vasquez. They weren't produced on the time in the discovery period. The court. Right. Ms. Vasquez. So I don't think she should be allowed to comment on whether or not the pictures exist and whether she turned them over, and that's part of the trial. Ms. Brederhoff. She's asked whether they exist, and she now knows they exist because they came through that. She can answer that honestly. You can't prohibit her from responding under oath to a question that was posed to her. We can't prohibit that. The court. This is what we'll do. Going forward, we'll ask the question. If she says they exist... Oh, Tiki! Tiki! Wait, is that a little chihuahua in your profile picture? Little chihuahua? Tiki, thank you so much for the 20. I appreciate it. Thank you. My brother has a chihuahua, and I really wanted to get a chihuahua too because they're so small, they're so precious, they're so cute. Amber did have a good legal team. Oh, did not have a good legal team. Yeah, you know, the expert witnesses were really rough. I think the only decent expert witness that she has was the guy that who was it again? He was like he's like the chubbier dude. He was like the better ones, but everyone else was just kind of like, man, what the heck? Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. There's some weird conspiracy going on. The curiosity just eats me up inside. What's a curiosity? I'd rather match ask a genie about JFK or Air 51 or something than waste the stupid wish on AH. I think she saw an ENT in 2019 or something, many years after the relationship. If I met a genie, one of my wishes would be to see what Amber is hiding on her phone because she didn't bring her phone to her depot and told her friends not to bring theirs either. Suspicious. Number 19. For me, I would ask, I would want to know what happens in the future. I think it'd be really cool. When does the human race end? Do we get to travel to other universes? All right, Elaine doesn't know if the poor pictures exist. Poor Elaine. Oh, yeah. Okay. How long are we fighting here for? Okay, so the court says, this is what we do. Going forward, we'll ask the question. If she says they exist, that kind of opens the door to her talking about discovery issues. Ms. Vasquez, right? The court, you didn't turn them over in time. The Vasquez, correct. The court, I mean, she can go into that if you want to. You don't know if those pictures exist. I wonder why those pictures weren't turned over in time. Was it because they were too busy photoshopping them? Maybe that's why there's hundreds of thousands of photos. I don't know. All right, Ms. Vasquez. The other problem I have, Your Honor, is the only picture that Ms. Bredehoff in direct examination tried to bring to evidence was the one photo from 2014. Nothing about, so she's commenting on pictures that, Ms. Bredehoff, I had intended to put in a lot more, but when Your Honor ruled that I couldn't, the court, I understand. I think we're just going to circles now. You're kind of stuck with her answers now, but you can go further to discover issues if you want to. I don't know what her response would be. If you need a jury instruction later on, we'll instruct that at the jury instructions. Okay? Thank you very much. Now we have Elaine swears there's ENT records, ENT medical records. Camille Vasquez are like, nope, there's not. All right, ENT medical records. I'm going to back up a little bit on this one just to give a little bit of context. So question from Camille Vasquez. This is your medical record from December 17th, 2015. Isn't it, Ms. Heard? That's correct. And this record doesn't document any physical injuries on it, does it? I don't think so, no. I don't think I spoke to Dr. Kipper. I didn't speak to Kipper that day. And you went to Dr. Kipper's office and were seen, correct? I went to Dr. Kipper's office for a concussion check. Right, and this medical record's from the visit, correct? Partially, yes. Scroll down, please, if you could. The signature, Kipper, down below is entirety of the medical record, right? Ms. Heard? Yes. What I meant by partial is that I didn't talk about what happened to me. I didn't get into my injuries. I didn't get into what happened or ask her for anything other than I should get some sort of a scan done. But this document doesn't document any physical injuries on you, does it? I'd have to read in full, but I don't know. Well, let's do that. Maybe if we could please go under skin on the second page. It reads intact, normal, color, moisture, hair distribution, texture, turgor, no signs of, oh, this is going to be hard. Cyanosis, mildly jaundice. It also says I'm a malnourished male. Who took these medical records? It also says I'm a malnourished male. Right. I have no idea what that means. I think this medical record's missing a lot of things. Yeah, but it doesn't document any physical injuries. Doesn't seem to be documenting anything. Probably because there's nothing to document, right, Miss Heard? Ooh, I disagree with you on that. You don't have any medical records reflecting that you broke your nose during your relationship with Mr. Depp, do you? I saw an ENT after my relationship ended. And you saw, it's your testimony on earth that you saw an ENT for a broken nose you sustained as a result of Mr. Depp? No, but the ENT told me I sustained a fracture. Objection. I would like to move to strike. I'll sustain the objection. I'll move to strike. Thank you. So again, just to try to answer my question, there's no medical records reflecting that you broke your nose during your relationship with Mr. Depp, is there, Miss Heard? I don't know what it made into evidence, but I do know what I documented that visit and that everything was given to my attorneys. Ms. Heard, you never went to see a doctor or a surgeon to treat a broken nose during your relationship with Mr. Depp, yes or no? I never sought treatment for a broken nose while I was with Johnny. Or after with Mr. Depp as a result of any injuries that you sustained as a result of Mr. Depp. Afterwards, yes, I did. And you didn't produce those medical records in this case? Elaine Bredehoff, I'm going to object, Your Honor. She did. Answer, I did. The court, I don't know. They may have been produced. They have not been produced, Your Honor, says Camille Vasquez. Ms. Bredehoff, they not only have they been produced, approach. The court says medical records, Elaine. They were absolutely produced. Camille, no. Ms. Bredehoff, I can guarantee they were. We'll find them tonight. It's in the record. We didn't admit them because Your Honor won't let us have medical records that are hearsay. Is this Elaine's way of trying to sneakily admit them in now? The court, right? So we can't put them in, which I think they opened the door, so we should. Camille, or the court, I don't know about that. Ms. Vasquez, I have not seen any medical records that she went to go see an ENT. Ms. Bredehoff, I'm 100% sure we produced them. I guarantee we produced those. Ms. Vasquez, well, she hasn't tried to... Ms. Vasquez, well, she also hasn't tried to produce them in this case. Ms. Bredehoff, because Your Honor says we can't. The court, it doesn't matter. I just want to understand. You asked the question. You're stuck with her answer. So let's just move forward now. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So again, no medical records. I don't know if I can even take Elaine's word for it because I feel like Elaine's kind of just like she's just a huge jumbled mess, man. I think I'd rather take Camille's word over it. Hi, Wayne. How are you doing today? Oh, 6-pound chihuahua named Paco. Oh, my brother's dog is named after Britney Spears. Britney. All right, number 500520. All right, so this is Camille asking questions. Oh, we're going to talk about Amber Heard took a picture of JD sleeping with ice cream, and Elaine forgets to turn on the microphone. Oh boy, lots of hiccups. So Camille Vasquez asks, you decided to take a picture of Mr. Depp asleep with ice cream spilled all over him, right? He was nodding off, and I was worried about how bad the medications and the medication changes and the drug uses has been, where he wouldn't even feel ice cream or a lit cigarette on him, and it scared me. So you took a picture of it? Yes, I wanted him to get help. Johnny's strong by enablers who clean up after him. Objection, Your Honor. I'm going to move to strike everything after yes, that she took the picture. Ms. Bredehoff, still responsive, Your Honor. The question is, did you take the picture? All right, I'll sustain the objection. Thank you, Your Honor. This isn't a very flattering picture of Mr. Depp, is it? No, it's not. You would agree with me that this is an embarrassing scene, right? Yes, I think it's part of getting help, is looking at it, seeing it. But you don't see this picture, but you sent this picture to one of your friends, didn't you? I don't recall. If we could just please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 252, we will be looking at the portion of the document. So if we could, please, Defendant's Exhibit 252A. All right, 252A. For ease, we've gone ahead and redacted it. Okay. Amber says, yes, I was asking for support. That's correct. Question. There's no question yet, Ms. Heard. So directing your attention to, I'm going to move to admit Exhibit 252A. Any objections? Ms. Bredehoff, can you please turn on your microphone again? I'm sorry. Again, thank you. Ms. Bredehoff, I need to see it first because I don't know what they redacted. The court. Okay, 252. Ms. Vasquez. Elaine kept forgetting to turn on her mic. Meanwhile, Camille got outlined in the sunlight as an angelic figure. Yeah, wearing her white power suit. Well, it looks really good on her. Golden Doodles. Is your Golden Doodle hyper? The Golden Doodles that I've met are like so freaking hyper. Oh my God. One of my friends that has a Golden Doodle, they're like complete opposite of each other. One is like super chill. I think it's because there's like a percent mixture of like how much poodle you're getting and how much like lab you're getting. But one of them is like really short. He's got like little short legs and he's like super chill. And then they got a second one who's got like super long legs, like horse legs. And like, oh my God, it's so cute. But he's like super like just like everywhere, super hyper. Yeah, Golden Doodles are cute, but I wouldn't be able to handle Golden Doodles. They're so hyper. Super, super hyper. But yeah, I didn't know with Golden Doodles, there's like a whole like percentage and like there's like different terms for different Golden Doodles depending on like how much poodle you're getting and how much lab you're getting and stuff like that. And all the colors and everything. Deanna, thank you so much. I appreciate it for the 2. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. What does the 1 mean for the super chat? Is it just like a random letter 1? Thank you. Oh, hi, Rain. What's up? How are you doing today? Oh, he's a good puppy. Mine is mostly Poodle and the little golden retriever. Oh, you got to exercise him daily for sure. Yeah, I try to give Shiro a lot of exercise, but thank goodness he gets tired really easily. He like has like bursts of energy. He's like runs around everywhere. And then he's like, okay, I go sleep. Bye, guys. Oh, is it first for super chat? Oh, thank you. Maybe that's what it is then. Yeah, that's what the terms were. It was like F1 and stuff like that. He's exactly 50-50. He's a perfect mix of both breeds. Oh wait, it's a poodle and golden, right? And then there's labradoodle. Sorry, I'm getting it all mixed up. Yeah. Oh, I used to have labs growing up, but it was so sad. That's why I was like so traumatized having big dogs. Both of my labs died at age 5 from leukemia. It's so crazy. Thanks, Leela. Yeah, totally. Mine does that too. Then goes wild and then plops down. Oh, Leela, thank you so much for the 2. Yeah, I don't know. I really want to get a cat though. That one time when I took Steve to the doctors, there was a cat that was like available and ready for adoption. Oh, it was so cute. It was a cute little kitty cat. But yeah, I don't know. Allergies and I don't know. Having cats climbing up cupboards and going through stuff. That's like a whole nother level of security and child protection locks. I love cats too. Yeah, all of my friends have cats, so I'm glad. Every time I can go over to their house, I can always play with their kitties and stuff. But a lot of them are so mischievous. Cats that are mischievous, I feel like, is worse than dogs that are mischievous because cats can climb, they can open things. I don't know. They got little finger paws and they can just open doorknobs and stuff like that, open cabinets, and they can jump really high. They can squeeze through tight little spaces. I'm so glad that Shiro's just a girthy little boy that just low to the ground. So I know exactly what I need to block that's like within his sight and his view. I don't have to worry about him like jumping on counters and all that stuff. Okay, let's give Elaine a win. I think Elaine finally gets a win. Oh no, we didn't do the sidebar yet. Sorry, not done with the sidebar. Okay. Where were we at? We're at the ice cream. The picture's not flattering. Amber Heard says she texted this to her friends because she was asking for support. Elaine forgets to turn on her microphone. All right, now we're doing a sidebar. Elaine says, Your Honor, you may recall that we're putting our evidence in. They got to look at it and then talk about the context. And they're trying to suggest here that she's just willy-nilly sending pictures to embarrass him. But the context here is Rocky Pennington. She's saying, are you guys okay? And then Amber Heard says, barely. I think I knocked on your door when you're at yoga, this is what we've been dealing with. And then she sends these pictures. So I think in context, I think that she has to come in because the context in which she's asking, again, context is not an exception to hearsay. Well, Your Honor, allowed them to put the documents for context. The question is to her. The question to her is, she's suggesting that she's sending to him because the question to her is, she's suggesting that she's sending it to her to embarrass him. But in fact, Rocky's asking her, and she's coming back and asking that she's asking how she's doing. She says, barely. This is what we're dealing with. So barely is coming in. Vasquez, right? All that's coming in, right? Just which of you guys? Okay, coming home now. I was at yoga. And Dylan should come in as well. That's all coming in. That's all coming in. The only thing that we're hoping is to have all Amber's texts are coming in, right? Just Miss Pennington? Okay. So the still fighting is still coming in as well. Barely, I think, knocked on the door where you're at yoga. This is what I've been dealing with. But if you go up to the page, this is all Amber. This is still Amber. That's not coming in at this point. It's been redacted. Still fighting? No, this is their evidence. This is all that they want to bring in. Any objection to what they're bringing in? Ms. Bredehoff. Yes, Your Honor, because it's not complete. All right, understand. Overruled. It comes in. Okay. Cats are awesome. You should get one. Dweezil, thank you so much for the 50. I appreciate it. Yeah, I just don't know how Cheryl will handle cats. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. He might get bossed around by a little cat. I want him to find someone where he can cuddle with and be friends with. But Cheryl's kind of like, I don't know. He's kind of, his relationship with Steve was very more like, he respected Steve and Steve was the alpha, but he just got bullied sometimes, you know? Like Steve would like come up to him and push him, be like, this is my toy. I don't know. For the time being, I'm just going to stick with Baldur's Gate. I don't know when Dark and Dark will be released like ASAP, right? If it comes back on Steam. John, thank you so much for the 5. Amazing these people were living rent free and still only thought how to screw him over. Yeah. You know, sometimes people do that. They take advantage and they are very unappreciative. It's unfortunate. Very much unfortunate. Okay, so we're loading that part into evidence. Elaine Berderhoff gets overruled. But I think Elaine finally gets a little win. Let's see what Elaine gets. Elaine gets, the court says, if it's a spokesperson, that's a speaking agent, right? Ms. Vasquez, speaking agent, the court, exception. Ms. Vasquez, right, representative capacity, the court, not an agent. Now we have an issue with an agent laying foundation. This is a spokesperson speaking, somebody who's speaking for her. Elaine, I think that she has to ask if in fact she recognized that, if in fact the spokeswoman, I'll get that. She started reading the statement out loud to the jury. I was trying to lay a foundation. You were reading the statement. She's fine. If you want to lay the foundation, that's fine. Thank you. Wait, does she? No, I guess Elaine doesn't really get a win. Well, Elaine doesn't get admonished for sure, but let's see what they were talking about. I should have read this part. The question was, this is an article entitled Amber Heard and Johnny Depp Row Over Divorce Donations. If I can direct your attention to where it says, I think it's on the second page, her spokeswoman responded in this statement, the language that follows. Elaine, oh, must feel good for Elaine to say this. Elaine says, objection, hearsay, spokeswoman. That's not her. Oh, good job for you, Elaine. She gets an objection. But, we're going to continue and they're going to let Camille lay a foundation. I think sidebar 22. We'll just keep reading to that one. Okay. So Camille Vasquez is going to lay the foundation. Camille says, you release a statement. Ms. Berderhoff, Your Honor, may we approach again? Okay. I'm sorry. You didn't get 2 words out that time. I'm sorry, but we only receive exhibits from them to 1247. This is not the exhibit that we have. Camille, we mark them now. We can use them in cross-examination. Ms. Berderhoff, but they haven't produced them to us. They haven't provided them to you. The court, they provide in cross-examination. Ms. Berderhoff, they have to give us hard copies. Camille, oh, I apologize. The court, yes, give them hard copies. Ms. Berderhoff, give me a chance to look at it. Ms. Vasquez, I agree. I apologize. Thank you. Okay. I'll get into the next sidebar, number 23. We're almost done here. The court. All right, here's the redacted. I guess now I need a copy of the unredacted. Where's the redactions? Ms. Vasquez, I was trying to make this easy. We're redacting all hearsay. I appreciate it. Ms. Berderhoff, so there's several pieces here where it shows a spokesperson, and there's no quote from the end of it. Ms. Vasquez, because it continues. The court continues. They have all of it. Ms. Berderhoff, but then they have a quote at the beginning of the next, and then that doesn't have a quote. I mean, you can't make then there's another one. There's not a quotation marks at the end of it. The court, I understand. Ms. Berderhoff, so the court, I understand, but I'm going to allow it if she can lay a foundation, okay? Ms. Berderhoff, but in the future, Your Honor, I would. The court, everyone's on the same page on that. Ms. Vasquez, thank you. Amber on... see, what sidebar is this? Amber on late night saying that she donated all the money. Ooh, this was a bad clip of Amber. There was a clip of Amber when she was doing her little PR tour thing about how she donated her divorce settlement. Oh, yeah. She was on this Danish TV show. Okay, so this is from Camille Vasquez. Okay, you spoke about donating your divorce settlement on a Danish TV show, correct? Amber, I believe I said that. I believe I had said I donated to charity, but it was already printed, already commented on, and stayed in the press. I had already released information in the press. I think I just confirmed it on the show. You appeared in the show called RTL Late Night, right? I don't recall what show that was. If you could please play Plaintiff's Exhibit 346. What is your portion of your appearance on this program? We would ask that it be moved into evidence and ask for any objection. Your Honor, it has hearsay. It contains other communications from other individuals. Your Honor, may we approach just like very briefly? Okay, sure. All right. To which portion? It's just a question from the commentator. Just this portion. It's the question which is obviously not being offered for the truth, but that's the interview. I actually had it transcribed. Thank you. I appreciate that. By Planet Depots, so there's no concerns and highlighted. You highlight the part that's going to be played, or this is the only thing that we'll be introducing. Okay, which part is going to be played? And this part is going to be played? Yes, correct. So it's just Miss Heard asking, it's the host asking, okay, the question. I apologize, Your Honor. It's actually, we clipped it. It's part of page 3 of the transcript. Okay, line 13, about the $7 million. What did you do with the money? Okay. And then it's Miss Hurt speaking. I think there's one comment from the host on page 4, line 11, where it says, more power to you. That's something I've never heard of. The court, more power. That's where it ends. I'm sorry. And it keeps going after that. I'm sorry, after line 13 it ends, so I apologize, Your Honor. Okay. I thought these were the only part they were playing that starts on page 3, line 13 to page 4, line 13. That's right. Okay. Brotherhoff. So the host is actually speaking hearsay. There's all kinds of accusations flying your way, and then people were saying this is about the money. Then it's also hearsay, Your Honor, within that. It's a question, Your Honor. We're obviously not saying it's being offered for the truth. The court, yes. It's exactly what Miss Hurt is alleging here. That's what she said. Okay, I'll overrule the objection. I'll allow the portion. Thank you. So now they play the portion where the male speaker was like, actually, we're all kind of actually, okay, I think that's wrong. Actually, we're all kind of accusation flying your way when you said this, and then there was divorce settlement. You got $7 million, and people were saying this is all about the money. But then you did something that twisted the whole argument. What did you do with the money, Miss Heard? $7 million total was donated to. I split it between the ACLU and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. ACLU is a human rights organization, right? Sorry, ACLU is a prominent organization, nonprofit organization in the United States. It's called the American Civil Liberties Union. Right. They work on behalf of the marginalized communities on the ground and the legislative reform. More power to you, because that's something that I had never heard. Heard says, I wanted nothing. How can someone make themselves look so bad? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. She did get the lawyer that she deserved. Oh, my goodness. Okay, that was a lot of sidebars. A lot of sidebars. And what day are we on? That was a lot of sidebars. So I think I ended it at day 17. This is day 18. Oh, man. Let me bring that up really quick. Transcripts. So we're done with this one. Okay, so day 17 is going to be all of Amber Heard. So some is going to be cross-examination, and then it's going to be a whole mess with redirect with Elaine and lots of objection. And I think that's when Elaine said she was trying. I don't know. It was a hot mess. And then afterwards, we have the rest of Amber's team is going to, well, not team, a bunch of her witnesses are going to testify. These are a lot of video depositions. And then we'll start getting to some of the bonky expert testimonies. Trying to remember who, there was like a decent expert that she had that was on here. Was it Richard Moore? Maybe it was Richard Moore. She had someone up there that was like decent, not too bad. But everyone else was just kind of like, I don't know what's going on here. And then we get into Johnny Depp. He comes back for the rebuttal where we have Kate Moss comes, Shannon Curry comes back again, Johnny Depp will testify. We have Morgan Tremaine and a bunch of other people. Oh, man. I'm lazy to read it myself. It's all good, Leon. It's all good. I'm glad that I'm just not doing this on the fly. I tried doing this on the fly on the first day, and it was actually kind of confusing. I think it's better for me to read it the night before, go through my notes, and then, yeah, we'll go from there. Oh, man. Okay, so yesterday I edited all of the sidebar stuff, but then I fell asleep. I forgot to upload on YouTube. So I'm going to upload it right now after the end of the stream. But other than that, y'all, thanks for hanging out here. Thank you for the support. And yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for having me in the background while you're multitasking and do other things. But I'm going to pop out now. I got a haircut later on today. I'm going to do some edits, some uploads, and some work stuff. And I don't know, maybe I'll pop into Baldur's Gate if I have time. I don't know if I have time to play Baldur's Gate. Oh, Steve is here.